Alrighty, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Movie Corner podcast presented by NonButFiction Films. My name is Devyn.
I'm Jay.
Jay's clammy.
Yep.
I'm Ben.
And, of course, we're also joined by our wonderful producer, Kieran. Kieran, you can say what's up. There you go.
There we go.
That's fantastic.
I love that
Excellent.
energy.
All right, so, as you all probably noticed, we got another person here. It's our good friend, Jay. How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing pretty good. Nice and clammy.
Nice and clammy?
Yeah.
You
Keeps it
dampster?
clammy.
I'm very moist.
He's
He's a
moisties.
moisty boy.
Yeah.
It is hot as hell in this funky ass room.
We're moister than an
but
oyster.
what more can we ask for?
No, of course not. No,
Exactly. It's our studio.
No, whatever.
Same
Just
difference.
same difference. A studio just has equipment in it.
We are hard workers.
Yeah. Well,
Heavy sleepers.
that
Oh,
too. That
Maybe
is
not
for sure
me,
me.
but okay.
But so yeah, this is a pretty special episode today. We're gonna be doing similar to what we did last episode. We're gonna talk about some trailers, but most importantly, we're doing one review today of a TV show, and it's one of the most popular TV shows right now. It's one of my favorite TV shows. We're talking about Stranger Things season 4. I'm even dressed up. I got my Hellfire Club T-shirt.
Yeah, he's looking like a Hispanic Eddie right now.
I am. I'm trying to. I just got a haircut, so like my hair is not as long anymore. So
Nah, it's alright. It kind of has
Isn't
that
it
80s
I'm gonna
vibe.
I'm gonna take off my hat because it actually is gonna be hot.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really hot.
But yeah, we're gonna be talking about Stranger Things season 4. We all watched the volume 2. We wanted to do this sooner. We wanted to talk about the first volume, but we had a COVID scare with Kieran and Ben. But luckily, we're getting to this now, and I'm pretty excited, honestly. All right, so let's get moving on. We're gonna talk about some trailers first. So Jay, why don't you introduce the first trailer for us?
All right, so the first trailer I think we're going to talk about is Amsterdam, correct?
Yes.
All right, so what are we thinking about that one?
So that movie has a pretty all-star cast. So I actually
Yes.
just watched the trailer because I've been kind of it's been in passing on Instagram for me, but it's got an all-star cast with I forget his first name, but something Washington. He was in
Denzel Washington?
It's not Denzel Washington.
John David
It's
Washington.
his,
and
it's
John
his,
David
yeah,
it's his
it's
son,
Denzel
though.
Washington's
It's his son,
son.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was in Black Klansman and Tenet.
And Tenet.
Oh, yeah,
he's
he's
great
fantastic.
in Black Klansman.
I know. I
Holy
just
cow.
watched that for school.
Oh, yeah?
Oh my god,
It's so good.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
It
and
also has Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, Michael B. Jordan, Chris Rock is in it,
Michael
Anya
B-
Taylor-Joy,
that's who.
Robert De Niro's in it.
So you mean my wife? Show some goddamn
Oh,
respect.
Our wife.
Hey, all of our
We could
wives.
be
all right?
Polly
We're-
for her.
I could definitely do that.
I've seen Last Night in Soho, so yeah, I agree.
I just rewatched it, dude, because my dad finally watched it,
It's
and I was
good.
like, "Oh man, that woman is beautiful." You know, she's Argentinian.
yes.
She is.
Fantastic.
And she's gonna be in Furiosa, which
But she
we're
lives in
starting to get set
Ireland
photos.
part-time, so she's mine too.
Yeah, whatever.
You gotta split it down the middle.
Continue, Jay. Who else is in the movie?
All right, we also got Rami Malek, who was recently the villain in the last James Bond movie, who was honestly underrated. I kind of really like him. He was fantastic in Bohemian Rhapsody. And if you
So
haven't
good.
seen Mr. Robot, holy shit, he's good in that.
I've heard a lot of good things
He's-
about that.
He's so talented. He's a beautiful man.
He's got
There's
weird
a lot of
teeth,
beautiful
though.
people. Well, he wore fake teeth for Bohemian.
Yeah.
No, bro. I
But-
watched that the
Yeah.
Little Things movie with Denzel Washington, and I couldn't help but
Yeah,
notice
that's
that like
fair.
his teeth look weird in that movie.
He has small teeth, is what it is.
Really?
Yeah.
I
He
took
has
it as
small
like
teeth.
his teeth were bigger than his skull.
No, he has a broad jaw and smallish teeth, is what
Okay,
it is.
maybe that's what it
His-
was.
The classic British look.
But honestly,
On an Egyptian American, that classic British look.
Man. We also have, this is surprising. We have Mike Myers in the film.
yeah, that asshole.
That guy.
I mean, I
That-
like his work, but my God,
I heard he's a terrible
I've
person.
heard he's a
Yeah.
dick. Also,
and also Michael Shannon.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
honestly,
Michael Shannon.
I'm always happy to see him because he is a
Same. Yeah.
fantastic actor who does not get enough credit.
absolutely.
I just watched a movie the other day, Shelter, I think it was called,
Ooh.
where it kind of
yeah.
dives
That one's
into mental health issues and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. It's a pretty crazy movie. But honestly, what's your first thoughts on the movie, Jay?
I'll be honest, I almost thought it was going to be the sequel to Knives Out with a whole new cast, but then I was like, oh wait, they already announced that. So it gives off that like vibe. I still kind of can't tell what the story is. I feel like that went over my head. I don't know if you guys happen to know.
I haven't seen Knives Out, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't. Honestly, it didn't. I wasn't too interested.
You either like it or you don't like it. It's one of those movies.
It's
But I
kinda
do
like
want to watch
Clue.
it though.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. No.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I kind of know what it's about because I know that it was based on a true story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, and basically the whole thing is, without getting too deep into like the reality of it, what the trailer shows is essentially a guy gets murdered and it looks like they've done it, and that's the whole thing, is that they're sort of the only credible suspects because they have such distinguishing features, because there's a black lawyer and a guy with a glass eye, two things that you definitely in the 1930s, which is when this takes place, you would have noticed. But yeah, I thought that was cool. One thing that I noticed a lot in the trailer was that there was a part of me that was like, I can't tell if they're meant to be friends or a triad. Like they looked like they were like.
Well, from what I got from the trailer, it looks like Christian Bale's character is a little annoyed that him and Margot Robbie, the Washington guy, and Margot Robbie are kind of having a thing because they do that cut where they're kind of holding hands behind his back, which is nice. I like that. That's nice symbolism. That's nice like foreshadowing.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. You forgot to mention Robert De Niro's in the movie.
No, I did. I said that.
I wasn't sure if you mentioned Robert.
No,
I did.
I was looking at my notes.
It was like right.
It was
right after we got into the Anya Taylor-Joy topic.
For sure. Okay.
I missed that. I was still.
It's all right.
I was still frothing at the mouth for Anya.
It's all right. We all were.
She doesn't
know. She doesn't know yet, but we're gonna get married.
She doesn't know.
She's listening. She's our first podcast listener. Of course she knows.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I hate that sentence, especially because I have a niece named Anya.
So I actually, the movie looks kind of interesting. I do love a classic whodunit, which is weird that I haven't seen Knives Out because that's what that movie is. But it does look kind of interesting, and it looks not as contained as Knives Out is, where it looks like it's like them going around town trying to figure out. And obviously, there's going to be like an inner struggle between the Christian Bale and the black lawyer. Yeah, obviously, and it looks kind of funny, and I may actually go check that out. Honestly.
Yeah, I'll be honest. That actually caught my interest more than Death of the Nile, and then even Murder on the Orient Express.
None of those movies interested me.
I really liked them, but I also grew up reading like Hercule Poirot books and all of that, like because that's what that series is from. Is like it was a book series back in the day. It's basically French Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
And because I grew up with a much higher literacy in French than a like communication capability. Because as we touched on in the last podcast, I have a speech impediment that comes out a lot more in French.
Mine comes on English.
It's a callback.
What's the play the Birdcage is based off of?
Oh my god. Le Cage aux Folles.
There you go.
But, so good.
I'm sure it does.
It means I can't say it.
It doesn't quite, but... But yeah, so I think that was it looks really good. I want to see it a lot. I'm very into period pieces. I think the costuming from what I've seen looks really good, and I am a huge nerd for dress history. I love knowing more about the way we lived our day-to-day lives, and clothes have a huge impact on that. And Hollywood often gets that so fucking wrong. It drives me insane.
Yeah, I actually heard somewhere online that a lot of people are complaining about how the Northmen had their costumes.
It looks like dog shit when you think about
it looks cool, but obviously,
but like when you think about like what people actually looked like, and the fact that the thing that was annoying was that they were trying to advertise it as if it were like it was being talked about as if it's historically accurate in the way that it looks, and it's like this is one of the least historically accurate, like it was like Tudors level bad. So I think with that, do you guys have anything else to add to this one, or can we move on to the next?
No, other than I love it when Christian Bale body morphs again. Yeah. It's his best superpower.
Absolutely, I don't understand how he does it, but I'm happy for him.
He's fantastic.
He's gonna die.
I don't. He really is.
Especially from going from like when he did The Machinist.
Yeah.
You know, and then he went straight into the Batman movies. He went. Yeah. I actually read. I found out his exact weight. He was 115 pounds for The Machinist, and then he went to 205.
Yeah.
And didn't that happen in between both Batman Begins and The Dark Knight?
No. So that one happened before Batman Begins, and then after Batman Begins, No, after the Dark Knight, because the Dark Knight he slimmed down a bit more because he got a little older, so he was like around 198, and then he did Fighter with Mark Wahlberg, and he was like about like I think they said he was like 120.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And then,
dude, how do you do it?
and the last time I saw him was when he was in the most like medium weight range, which the pictures I've seen were recent. And then in this, he's so damn skinny compared to how he was in the like, I don't understand how that's possible, but good on him, I guess.
Yeah.
He's able to do it. I need his
Workout regimen.
What was no, it's not a workout regimen. It's a diet.
His metabolism.
I need his
That's the big
metabolism,
thing.
bro.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the next trailer.
The next.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
wanna-
Ben,
okay.
introduce it.
Yeah, the next trailer is near and dear to my heart. It's Clerks 3.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith and me share the same last name. Yes.
That's true. I
Bless
am.
your heart, Jay.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm obsessed with Kevin Smith. I think his last few movies were like goofy
Dog
and fun,
water.
but they weren't great. They didn't touch on what to me feels like Kevin Smith's most earnest pieces, which were kind of earlier on in his career. This feels a little bit more nostalgic to me. I don't know about you guys.
So I probably don't have much to
Yeah, I
say
know you're not
because
familiar.
unfortunately I have not seen any of the Clerks
Which
movies.
is wild to me.
I know, I
Have
gotta-
you seen any of his movies, or
Of course, I've seen Dogma, I've seen Chasing
Okay, I
Amy,
love-
I've seen Mallrats, which is my favorite
Mallrats is
Kevin Smith
fantastic.
movie.
those
Yeah.
are all great. I love
Um,
those a lot.
Oh god, there's another. I've seen Tusk and I've seen Yoga Hosers.
Yeah,
which
and
I think
they were
Yoga
fun.
Hosers
They were
is-
fun, but they weren't good. They
No,
were just
those were
fun
not
to
good.
watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this one to me hit the very like late '90s, early 2000s vibe. It didn't feel like it was trying to recreate Clerks or Clerks 2, which are two movies with very different tones. And I think if you were to do that, if you were to try to recreate either of those tones, I would have been like, okay, well that feels stupid because if it's a trilogy, you know, you can't have two with separate tones and one that's just like, no, I'm recreating this other movie.
So like I said, I haven't seen Clerks, but one thing I appreciate about the trailer is how kind of meta it's being, but it's
Yeah.
not at the same time.
Yeah.
There's that great part at the end, and I brought it up before we started recording, where the guy Dante, he's all like, "Wait, you can't just kill it. What's this? I'm killing off your character in the third act. You can't do that. What if there's a sequel?" And he's like, "Oh, what am I, a hack?" And then it cuts to Silent Bob, which is Kevin Smith, and he just like points at him like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I thought that was great. The music in it was great. My Own Worst
Please
Enemy
tell
by
me
Lit
why.
is
I love that
copyright
song.
stricken.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
that was one of my favorite songs as a kid. I still listen to it too often. By
great
the
karaoke
way,
song, by
Jay,
the way.
I don't know how much you know about the behind-the-scenes drama involving Jeff
I
Anderson.
don't know that much.
Okay, so
Which one's he again?
he's the guy who plays
Jeff
Randall.
Anderson? Yeah, it's Randall.
He's really good in it. He originally did not aspire to be an actor. He was just friends with Kevin Smith and hung out around when it was starting like the audition process. And Kevin Smith just got a fire under his ass, and he was like, "I need you to audition." And he was like, "Well, there's a lot of pretty actresses here," and he wound up getting the part and being fantastic. And ever since then, he's been wanting to act more, allegedly anyway. This is what I've heard. But feels like he's been trapped in with being Randall Graves, and also he can't get through his day-to-day life without people being like, "Oh my God, you're Randall," because he has a very iconic face and like sound and all of that.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say I don't think I've ever seen that either of those two guys in movies. Like I don't think I've seen the guy who plays Dante.
I think
Yeah.
Brian has
Brian
been in some
O'Halloran,
things.
yeah. He's done most Kevin Smith things. He's done at least a cameo.
But that's the thing about Kevin Smith movies. He usually just brings back the same actors from
Yeah.
those movies, and they'll play like little cameos. Like they were in Mallrats, they were in Jay and Silent Bob, Strike Back, and stuff like that.
And even the
and
reboot.
Dogma.
Yep.
I think they were even in Dogma or
Yeah.
something.
But originally, Jeff Anderson said he would never do a sequel because the sequel there were a bunch of scripts that got put on his lap before he ended up signing off because he did not want to do any form of a sequel because he was like, no, this movie is fucking up everything for me. I need it to be something that's really fantastic. And then he wound up saying like, okay, you know what? This to me feels nostalgic. This to me feels like something I could be a part of, and it doesn't feel like the exact same movie over again. And then Clerks 3 had been talked about for years, and like really almost immediately since Clerks 2 came out. And everything I've heard has just been that scripts have been sent to Jeff Anderson and he doesn't want anything to do with it. So the fact that he was willing to go through with this third one tells me it's probably pretty good. Like, it does give me a lot of faith in it.
As someone who's who's a more Kevin Smith fan than I think some of us here.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite directors.
Do you think that this movie is going to be very much like almost like a love story for Kevin Smith to tell about like his time as a director and his time making movies and stuff like that?
Well, I think it's hard to tell because I think Kevin Smith has done a lot of different things with his career, and his best works anyway, are all very earnest pieces. You know, like at the end of Dogma, which is not his best work, but it is enjoyable.
I think Dogma's hilarious with the shit
monster. I love it.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with that movie. I tell anyone who's having like a sort of religious crisis, like, hey, this is a movie you need to watch. Yeah. But he ends it by saying, like, you know, he's got like a little thing that essentially explains, like, I've had a really complicated relationship with Catholicism, and as a parent, being able to work on this told me that, yeah, I will incorporate aspects of this into raising my child because it helped me come to terms with that. And I think that's something he does a lot in his work. He uses it as a form of therapy, and I think it works really well when he does that. Mm-hmm. So that's my 2 cents on it. I don't know if you guys have anything to add.
Yeah, Jay, I was going to ask you.
Mainly just excited to see Jeff Anderson and even Brian
O'Halloran.
I was going to butcher his name.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see them again. Jay and Silent Bob are always a fun bonus. I kind of hope they take more of a backseat just because, again, we just recently got the reboot, which was a mixed bag. It was fun, but
it wasn't good.
It wasn't
just
good.
Fun.
Yeah.
Well, they took because those characters, if I recall, because I've seen like bits and pieces of both those Clerks movies.
Yeah.
They took a back seat in the first one, did they? Like they
did.
They
were more like
little bits and pieces of scenes, right?
What I would say is Jay and Silent Bob were kind of like how the Minions were treated in Despicable Me, where
how
the icing.
Dare you
no.
right now.
No. Here, let me listen.
God.
Listen to this. They are really good. They are really good as like icing on the cake, rather than like full blown like main characters.
Yeah,
and that's my thing about Minions. Minions does not work whatsoever. I might watch the sequel,
dog
but that's
shit.
it.
But
Yeah,
Despicable Me is fantastic.
Exactly.
The first one.
No, I like
the
all.
sequels were good.
Yeah,
I
but
was bored
like
with that
I would
second
rank.
one.
I would rank it in order of.
And the third one, I
chronologic.
fell asleep. That third one, I had to turn around. I was
I
like,
thought
dude,
they
like
were
I've seen
fun.
this movie.
The first one was the best, but I think
I only
the other
watched
two
that
were
third
fun.
one because Trey Parker is in it.
Exactly.
That is the only
That's
reason I
fair.
watched that third one.
That's fair. That's someone who I was obsessed with for so long and now have mixed feelings on with Trey Parker, but we won't get into all that.
Yeah.
Another time.
All right.
But that's my own thing. I'm excited to see them back again. I do like how it's getting meta, like you mentioned, and I do agree this one might be close to maybe like Kevin Smith explained, like, you know, this is kind of like, because it looks like they're making a movie within the, you know, convenience store, kind of like how they did in Clerks 1, almost like a meta commentary of them filming Clerks 1.
It also kind of reminds me of Be Kind Rewind,
Exactly.
which I really think is an underrated movie.
I love Be Kind Rewind.
Awesome movie. It's one of my favorite Jack Black. Oh, dude, it's awesome. It's with Mos Def and Jack Black, and they mess up all the tapes and they have to remake the movies. It's awesome.
Sounds like something I would do, but what's it called?
It's called Be Kind Rewind.
All right, I'll try to check it out.
Yeah,
But that's all I got to say.
Awesome. All right, so I'll just introduce the last trailer. The last trailer we're going to talk about. This movie's about to come out. I think it comes out like later this month.
Oh yeah, it comes out. No, it comes out August 5th.
Oh, it comes out August 5th?
Yeah. So.
Oh, okay.
In like 3-4 weeks.
Oh, okay. I thought it was this month. It's a Bullet Train, which stars Brad Pitt. Bad Bunny's in there. Aaron Taylor Johnson. Joey King is in there, who I also have a slight crush on. And who else? There's another chick in there, isn't it?
This is just a list of women.
Kieran Fukuhara, who plays in The Boys. She's one of my favorites right now. Okay. She's in it. I'm so excited to see her.
Wait, wasn't Kieran Fukuhara the same girl who played Katana from Suicide Squad, the old one?
I don't know. Let me check.
That sounded familiar, but I wasn't sure if it was just
it is her, right?
Japanese.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Wait, I didn't know she was in The Boys. Good for her. I was worried that she didn't do anything after Suicide Squad.
And I liked her in Suicide Squad.
I love her.
Oh, she was great. So, any thoughts on the trailer? I have my opinions, but I want to hear your guys.
I love the first trailer, the teaser trailer. And this goes for most movies. I love the teaser trailers more than the official trailers because it just shows you just enough for you to be either hooked or not excited. And this one gave me that John Wick Chapter 2 vibes, where it's like it's not going to be a serious story, but is it going to be a fun popcorn flick? Hell yeah. But I do recommend avoiding the official trailer, even the other trailers, because I'll be honest, they showed it in the theaters recently, and it kind of spoils the entire movie. Like I can have layout of exactly how it's gonna go, and it can. I'll still watch it.
I kind of want to get into a discussion about how fucking awful trailers are these days.
Yeah, that's I don't even watch trailers.
This is why I like indie films. They put out one trailer, and then that's it. Like IFC does that. Like whenever they have a new movie, like a movie of the month come out, it's always just that one trailer. They put it online, and then that's it. They never fucking add anything else, and it's perfect because it gets you hooked more often than
exactly.
Not. But now with big time, I know, I'm sorry, Ben. I don't mean to step on you.
No, I'm just agreeing with you, and I'm trying to do so quietly so that I'm not speaking
over
you.
I know you're
I
in
don't
the middle
have
of saying
anything to
something.
say.
I know. It's just like it just bugs me so often that like when these big studios have a movie that they're really confident in that's going to be a big summer blockbuster, that they have to oversaturate like their marketing with
just
like,
show you
here's a trailer, here's another trailer a couple months later, and then a trailer for when the movie's about to come out.
Exactly.
And it's just like, bro, stop. Like, first off, most of the stuff you're showing me in those other trailers are the same shit I saw in the first one.
Exactly.
The only difference now is you're adding like either a pop hit, a pop song into it, or
and you're trying to sync like the action
and
to
I'm
it.
I'm tired of trailers doing that thing where they match sounds with the music.
That's
and
what Suicide
actions.
Squad made it so popular to where now everyone's
I know,
like,
and
that's
I
our selling
fucking
point.
hate it. Stranger Things did it, and I got fucking annoyed by it. But they did it with the clock, and I was like, oh god, like I hate it. I need that to fucking stop. I'm tired of it. Just show me the fucking movie and don't ruin it. Anyway,
go ahead.
Ben, go.
You touched on everything I was gonna say and more, so you're fine.
Sorry.
No, you're totally fine. Also, I'm trying to be quiet because like I feel like I was talking over Jay earlier, and then now I feel like we're all cutting each other off, and I don't want to ruin the sound quality. The only thing I have to add to what you're saying really is just that to me, I've noticed the genre that does that the most is comedy. Where they'll throw in the funniest jokes and the best jokes, and you'll be like, wow, this looks good. And then that's all the humor.
Dude, that's why I don't watch comedy movies anymore. Because, like, legit, I'm getting the best jokes from the fucking trailer. And then, like, the last comedy movie I actually paid money to go see was Neighbors. Oh. Now, I was really excited about it because I love Seth Rogen, and I thought Zac Efron is a pretty good actor. I thought seeing him in that kind of, like, element would be pretty cool to see him in. And then I go see the movie, and I'm like, wait, so you're telling me all the jokes that were funny were in the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, what? Now I'm just, like, because I thought Neighbors was garbage. I did not like that movie.
It's not my favorite Seth Rogen movie.
No, not even close. I mean, it's not Funny People, which is just a boring mess.
Yeah.
But it's just, like, I'm tired of these, like, I'm tired of, like, it's not hard to do a trailer.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do a trailer.
No.
Exactly.
Just show what the fuck is happening, tell me the plot, and then just show things I'm expected to see within the movie. And then, put a cool song in it. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But, God, I'm tired of movies. Like, there's trailers I've seen where I've seen the whole movie. I see the whole movie, and it's just like, okay, cool, I don't have to see the fucking movie.
That's what I'm worried about the new movie, Boys, because I saw the trailer, and it looks fucking hilarious. I really want to watch it, but like you said, most comedies are pretty much putting all the best jokes in. So now I'm like worried, like, are all the best jokes in the trailer, or does it have more to offer? So that's why I'm worried about that movie.
Because, like, legit, the last good comedy movie I could tell you that I saw was probably, God, I don't want to say The Hangover, because that was, like, years ago now.
Oh, you're talking about, like, recent ones.
I'm trying to think of one recently. I
don't
know I've
if
seen
there's
one
any
recently
recent
that was hilarious, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything I've seen. Like, I will say that, Devyn, unlike you, I'm not someone who watches like, I don't seek out trailers. I don't watch trailers super frequently when they approach me. Jay, I'm a lot more like you in that sense, where it's kind of like, I want the movie to inform me rather than the advertising, especially because I think a lot of the time people will judge movies based on what the advertising was. And I don't think that really necessarily works, because the people who make the movie are not the same people running the marketing campaign, you know? So, like, there are a lot of movies that I really liked that people refuse to see simply because of the marketing.
And I want to bring this up before we have to move on. I also want to say, as much as I'm a big fan of Brad Pitt, I've been a fan of the guy for the longest time. I think the first movie I think I ever saw him in was Fight Club, and I loved him.
So
and I've
good.
just
I saw him in Snatch.
Oh my
Ooh,
God,
yes.
Do you like Diggs?
Yeah.
You like Dags? Dogs, yeah, you like Dags.
Yeah, I like
I,
Diggs.
I love him. I think he's a good actor. This is not the role for him.
Yeah.
I can't see him in this role. Because this is more like a role that Chris Pratt would play. But like we can't.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But Chris Pratt's going more of an action hero route, and I'm
Yeah.
starting
Yeah.
to think he's getting a little too patriotic for me. It's kind of scary. But like I don't know. There's no other young actor, and also I see a young actor for that role.
Yeah, I think we need to stop digging into the same well and hoping to pull out more things. Like, start auditioning people, start taking risks, stop deciding you're only going to put new people in if they're the Stranger Things kids or nepotism babies.
Exactly.
Like, we don't need that. We need new actors. We need someone who will get us excited to find out what they can do. And I know that that doesn't sell as many tickets. I know that that's not the thing that makes as much money. But guess what? At the end of the day, I'm tired of seeing the same few faces.
Because I'm with you on that, because I don't like it when movies are trailers sell you on a movie
Because
just
the
because who's
actor.
in it.
Yeah.
That's why whenever I see a star-studded cast movie, I'm usually not too interested. Like, I saw Amsterdam, I'm like, looks funny, but it's just like, oh, are they just trying to sell me off who's in it because all these names are in it? Like, I'm never, like, remember when that time in Hollywood they would do, like, seasonal movies like about like Valentine's Day or
Oh.
She's Just Not That Into You
Oh,
or
yeah.
stuff like movies like that
Yeah.
where it's just like, here's all these fucking people, you want to see all the people do the things, right? Like I don't like it when movies do that.
I feel personally attacked because I love She's Not Just Not That Into
Yeah,
You.
yeah,
or
no,
He's
that
Just
one's
Not That
good.
Into You.
it's
That one's a good one.
It's so good.
good.
But in general, yeah, I agree with you. And I think that that's one thing that the movie did have an issue with. I think the only thing that kind of lent itself to that was the quality of the book, where it was like, it calls for a huge cast, so it makes sense to get this huge star-studded cast. But I would have been just as fine seeing some nobodies in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I always like those little really like not even A24 movies, but those really low budget like indie films because they
yeah.
have to take that risk.
Yeah.
And sometimes,
Yeah.
dude, they'll find a fucking killer actor or actress, and they'll
Absolutely.
and then and it's fun to watch them grow along the way. Because there was another trailer I watched. I won't talk about it now, but I forget her name, but she was in It Follows, which is one of my favorite horror movies. The lead
a good
actress
one.
in that. She's doing another movie called The Watcher, which is about
Oh,
a
yeah.
couple who is being watched by a guy across the street, and she feels like she's being followed by him.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see her, and I'm like, oh damn! Like I've been wondering what happened to that girl because I thought she was so good in that It Follows movie. But yeah, like Hollywood, just like stop, like let Brad Pitt go to bed.
Yeah.
I love the guy. Save him for like when he needs to play a wise dad or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Not
Or a
this
hot
ro-
dad.
Or a hot dad.
A DILF.
Dilf.
Yeah. Why don't we have more DILF movies? Can anyone explain that to me?
Exactly. David Harbour. Who else?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yes.
I always
Yeah.
I always say Tom Hardy.
Tom. Oh,
That's
yeah.
always my
Tom Hardy
go-to.
is
Yeah,
my
I
man
can see
crush.
that.
That's my man right there.
Yeah,
Right
I
there.
feel that.
That's my man crush.
Also, we could get Daddy DeVito.
Oh, yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. Fire. Ooh,
Him in a
hot.
Oh,
Hell
honey.
yeah. Dude, his Twitter
Again-
is like 50% feet pics.
Is it really?
It really is.
Oh, honey.
Aren't you glad I'm running our social
I am
media?
really. By
Yes.
by the way, follow us on Twitter at ButFiction, right?
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter at ButFiction. Follow us on Tumblr at NonButFiction. We'll get into all of that towards the end as
Yeah,
well.
we will. Just thought I'd do a little plugging.
Absolutely.
And,
Plug
we're-
away. You're making my job
I
easier.
know, right?
ABP.
So out of the trailers we talked about, which one are you guys more excited to see?
Clerks 3, just because Amsterdam, again, it gave me Knives Out vibes, and we're kind of getting a lot more of those whodunit films, which, I don't know, I feel like some of them are very predictable. Like, Death of the Nile was very predictable. So Clerks 3 looks more interesting. Bullet Train, again, the trailer, second one showed pretty much the whole movie. So yeah, I'm going to go Clerks 3.
Yeah, I mean, I already showed my whole ass on this.
The Clerks
I'm
3.
obviously gonna go Clerks 3. I'm gonna definitely see all of these movies, especially like I know for a fact I'm going to wind up watching Amsterdam and Clerks 3. Clerks 3 is definitely the one for me, though.
Yeah, it's funny because now I want to watch all the Clerks movies because I was actually more
There you
interested
go.
to see Clerks 3 because I feel like I've seen Bullet Train before. No offense to the guy,
Yeah.
the director, who's the same guy who did John Wick. I feel like he's just a one-trick pony at this point. Just like, look at all these neon colors and look at the people fight in the neon colors.
Yeah.
And then, Amsterdam, yeah, like you're right. I've been seeing a lot of those kind of movies coming out. So yeah, I'll say Clerks 3 is the movie I'm going to check out. Got to go watch the first two.
I know what we're gonna be doing in the next couple weeks. We're gonna be doing a Clerks marathon. You guys down?
Yeah, I'm down.
Hell
Dude,
yeah.
I'm so down. So here we go, guys. Now let's get to the main event.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about, we're going to be reviewing. Oh, sorry.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
getting too
trying to cue Devin to pull back a
Yeah,
little
no, I
bit,
got
but
too close.
neither of us
I'm
are
sorry.
subtle.
I'm in a weird
It's getting
position.
too personal with the mic.
I don't have headphones, but I could see on the thing that he was starting to.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was
Sort of.
more readjusting. I'm
Yeah, you're
really
fine.
twisted over here.
Yeah, crack your back real quick. Do whatever you need to do, because we
We
could.
feel the dead air.
Yeah,
Dead air.
no.
Hold on,
exactly.
let me do the intro real quick, and we'll get to the, and then I'll crack my back.
Or if
So-
you want, I can do the intro while you crack your back.
Yeah,
We
crack
could
my
totally.
back. Yeah, you do the
Take
intro
the
we're going to talk
lead.
about right now.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about Clerks season 4. Clerks. I'm really good at intros. I'm still thinking about Clerks. I'm excited.
Clerks season
We're going to
4.
be doing Stranger Things in 4. So I have some hot takes. I know you guys have lukewarm takes.
Yeah. Pros and cons.
In that you guys mostly liked it.
Yes.
You guys
loved it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is that's not a hot take. That's a lukewarm take. The look on Devon's face, by the way, because I know you guys can't see, he looked very offended that I said
I
that.
am offended.
That's not a bad
So
thing.
offended.
There's nothing wrong with not having a hot take on a popular thing. I do not want to belittle anyone who doesn't agree with me on this because personally, I feel like people do that a lot when I have an unpopular or popular opinion where whatever people feel the most passionately about, they'll come down on anyone.
Well-
I understand why people like
Well,
it.
look, before we get to the negativity, let's talk.
It's gonna happen.
Let's talk about Stranger Things season 4.
Yeah.
It is the 4th installment of Netflix's Stranger Things created by the Duffer Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Jay, I'll let you go for the initial thoughts. What are your initial thoughts on Stranger Things?
There's
season
definitely
4?
a lot of pros. There are some cons, but I'm definitely going to say it is a very impressive season, not just by the Duffer Brothers and of the whole crew of Stranger Things, but by Netflix in general, because I was kind of draining away from Netflix for a while. The only Netflix original I really liked was Umbrella Academy, but now Stranger Things season 4 really showed me like, wow, they can produce some like really good budget stuff. I love the horror in this one more. I think the horror was a little weak in the first 2 to 3 seasons, but this one really captured the horror well. It was actually nerve-chilling sometimes. And I even liked the mystery. The mystery was pretty engaging. Like
trying to figure out who Vecna
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
is
well-
really good.
Yeah. Which,
Well-
by the way, spoilers.
Oh,
Hardcore
yeah, spoiler warning.
We're
Yeah.
gonna do a spoiler part. We'll let everyone know. We're gonna do
Oh,
initial
I was
thoughts.
just planning on letting everyone know because I feel like we're gonna wind up spoiling it throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
throughout the
yeah,
talking
yeah,
of it.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
kept my
spoilers.
notes
Call.
to avoid
Yeah.
spoilers.
Let's do. We're gonna say spoiler alert if in case you
Yeah,
haven't
because a
seen
lot
it.
of my notes involve spoilers
Same.
too.
Yeah, thrilling action. The hypeness, obviously, from social media was unreal. I'll be honest, I liked the first trailer for where they use Separate Ways by Journey.
Oh my god.
No, okay. You might
The
not
one
like
Devin
it.
was just bitching.
Okay, yeah.
That was a good. That was
That-
orgasmic.
That's a good example of a good trailer.
Yes, because I had no idea what was going on, but I was hooked.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta watch. Why is Elle like in the desert now?
Yeah.
Why is why is this guy playing guitar in the upside down?
That's bad.
Who is this monster man? Like, who is this? Why is Hopper in Russia now? Like, it's just like, it was just so like, like the hype was so real.
Yeah.
By the way, but I'll just get a first con out of the way. When they first announced the trailer, was they did that teaser and they just showed Hopper in Russia, and it's just like, God damn it, God, you guys couldn't hold it. Like, it's like you just burst a nut like so quick about like just letting the show, like showing Hopper alive. Because I feel like it would have
Yeah.
been a lot cooler if you didn't
Yeah.
show
That's
him.
fair.
Wait till
I
the show
agree.
comes out.
Yeah.
But Jay, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
But my last thing I want to say is, honestly, I still like season 3 for a lot of reasons. I still like that. It's not the best written season by far, but in personalness, I just like it. It's
Right.
my favorite.
That's fair.
Well,
No, I by the way, I wrote down good things, and I
Okay.
want to talk about. I'm going to talk
Some.
about good things before. I wrote mostly bad things because I took notes throughout watching it, especially
Right.
in the last few
Oh.
episodes.
Okay.
As I went.
Smart.
All right.
Yeah.
So I honestly I tried watching the whole series before we did this review. I literally stopped at the first episode of season 3. So I couldn't tell you my initial thoughts again because I haven't watched it since I first watched the season. But I do remember really loving season 3. I love the aesthetic and I love the vibe and the tone of it. It was very different from the first 2 seasons. But this 4th season is just so emotional, and it just like hooks you like right from the fucking gate because they do that bit in the beginning with all those kids, and you're just like immediately hooked. Like, oh damn, like did 11 kill all these kids right now? Like is that why there were no other kids around after a while? Because they totally retconned 8, the Indian punk
Yeah,
chick. They
I
totally
definitely saw
retconned
that.
her. But oh man, like I'm trying to like figure out what I loved because I will get into like I want to get into
I'm
more.
also trying to figure that out.
How dare you? How dare you? But
She's
no,
digging
I'm gonna kind of echo a lot of what you said, because I love the horror aspect. I kind of like the choice of Vecna. First off, being practical.
Yes.
I-
Oh, thank God.
Oh my! I actually was worried because I thought for a second like, oh, it's another CGI monster. But then like I read online, it's all 100% practical, and I love the choice because they were doing this on purpose because they took a lot of inspiration from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, because he had the one long hand. It looked like the claws, and Robert Englund was in it, which was
And
kind
I'll
of crazy
get into
to
a
see.
spoiler thing about that later.
Oh, of course.
I liked.
And I love the horror aspect they added to it. This season was a lot more darker, but yeah, a lot more fun. I would say I had a lot of fun watching this season, especially those last 2 episodes. I also appreciated the emotion that was shown. There was a lot of like those last 4 episodes, I would say, were pretty much like a roller coaster of emotion for me.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, that's something I'll get into later.
We'll get into the bit. It's just initial thoughts right now. So that's my initial thoughts. Ben, go.
So I personally, I agree that the last 4, like really 3, but like I'll give 4 light, like 3.5 kind of episodes were pretty good. I think the issue is that it's something that I feel like the pacing is really weird throughout a lot of the show, which I know even a lot of fans have criticisms of the pacing a lot of the time. And I felt like because of that, it really didn't feel like I don't want to have to sit there and earn enjoying a show. And I felt like that was something that the show really feeds into, is the idea that you have to earn the enjoyment of it. And that to me is really frustrating as a viewer, because I don't have I don't have a super short attention span, but there were definitely times where I was like, wow, okay, I have to sit here and just wait to be able to see the best parts of it. And that's something that Stranger Things kind of consistently does throughout the show, you know, where it's like, hey, you've got to like sit here and wait for all of this shit to happen, but hopefully you didn't mind, you know?
See,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you, obviously, but I felt like even those moments, like, because those moments you're talking about, I want to assume are a lot of like when not a lot is happening, it's a lot of dialogue, maybe just a lot of like setup. Because there's a lot of
Actually-
episodes where there's a lot of setup for something for the next episode, or like
That's
the
one of my
end
thoughts.
of the episode.
That's part of it, but it's not all of it, actually. That's not entirely what I'm talking
But
about.
I like those little moments. I love all the little character interactions. I love all the little foreshadowing and setup for little things like I don't know, like they set up. I don't want to just make it about me gushing over Eddie, because I can talk about that man all day. We'll get into
That
that.
could be his own segment.
Fucking good,
Yeah.
bro.
But,
But
yeah.
I don't know. I actually ever since like I've started watching Stranger Things, I haven't felt that way about it since the first season, where I felt the first season was very much like that. And I just rewatched it again. Those first like 2.5 episodes, like and half of the the first 2 episodes and half the 3rd episode, it felt like what you just described, where it's like I have to really earn to enjoy this show, which I kind of got from the first season. And I felt that way too when I initially watched it. It took me a while to get into the show, like when I initially watched it. But I mean, just I don't know. Like I've been so invested in the show and getting to this point where all the characters they're all grown, they're all a little smarter. It's awesome. I love where everyone went, where everyone's at. Maybe there's some things I'm not totally in agreement, and I will get into that. But let's talk about some scenes. Let me grab some notes. Let's talk about some bits. Well, what do we think about the characters? How do we feel about the characters?
I definitely like a lot of the one thing the Duffer Brothers get right in almost every season is they know how to introduce new characters and make them fan favorites.
Yeah.
But also
Bob
there's a
and
pattern. There's a pattern. They introduce you new characters that you start to really like, and they get offed.
That was Kieran's thing. He actually knew before the last 2 episodes were released that Eddie was going to die because he said it's a fan, and we already gave the spoiler alert. But yeah, he already knew because he kept saying like every time they introduce a new fan favorite that's really lovable, that's really like fun to watch, they wind up killing them off fairly shortly after.
They've only done that twice.
No.
Yeah,
Bob, and then in season 3 you have Alexi.
Oh,
That-
you're right.
Yeah.
I forgot about
And
it. Wait,
technically
does that
Hopper-
because he was around for like 2 episodes.
But again, they
But
introduce the
still.
new character that fans start to really like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then kill them
there
off.
are a lot of Alexi
Yeah.
stands out there on TikTok. I'll tell
Alexi
you.
was
Absolutely.
Alexi was Eddie of season 3. Everyone loved Alexi, and now
and I don't know why.
I think
it was it was kind of adorable.
it was the adorableness.
Yeah,
I
he
think
was
that's-
adorable,
yeah.
That's the
but it's just
thing that
like
sold.
That's
like,
definitely it.
like when he died. I was like, oh damn, that fucking sucks. I was hoping he'd make it.
And
but
also
it's
Billy?
like-
Billy became a fan favorite
well,
in season
no,
3.
that's different. That's not a fan. He was first off. He was introduced in season 2.
Exactly.
What he went through was more of a redemption arc.
And I love that.
But as soon as he got redeemed and became a fan fave, what happened?
But that was because his character arc
No,
was
he was
finished.
redeemed.
Yeah,
no, he
well-
was
So-
a fan fave because he was a MILF hunter. Let's be honest
That's
here.
fair.
He almost plowed Mrs. Wheat.
That's why I love him.
I do not blame him.
And I love a good mullet. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, he was
Oh,
rocking it. He was
I'm
rocking the
just-
mullet,
I'm
those
bitching.
stash.
Darcy Montgomery is just like a beautiful man.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a handsome and a sweetheart. I've
Have
seen
you-
interviews of him, and he's
Have
the
you seen
nicest
him
guy.
in Broken Hearts Gallery?
No, I have not.
It's such a good movie.
See,
I've
the
heard
thing
that's
is, the
good.
only
It's
other
good.
movie only other thing I've seen him was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, and really, I thought he was terrible in that. And
He
then
was
comes
okay.
on.
He wasn't the best
Bro.
character, but he wasn't bad.
No one was a good character in that.
Yeah,
Really?
it just
Maybe
the acting
maybe
was
Bryan
cheesy.
Cranston is Zordon, but that was it.
Oh, I think it's just because I
But-
have a personal love for Power Rangers. But go
I
ahead.
love Power Rangers. Don't get me wrong. That's why I hate talking shit about it. But like, I saw him in that, and then I heard he was gonna be in Stranger Things season 2, and I was like, oh no, like this guy. And then he shows up, and like, yeah, he's a bad guy. You're not really supposed to like him, but he was actually really good. Especially when season 3 came around, I started getting mad at him. And I was like, where the fuck was this in Power Rangers? Where the fuck was any of this? Because he, like, honestly, to me, when he came out in Power Rangers, I looked at him as just another pretty actor.
Another white boy.
Another pretty white boy.
Yeah.
That's all I looked at him as, and not a good actor.
On behalf of pretty white boys everywhere, I'm offended.
How dare you.
I'm
just
slightly
saying.
offended. I'm a
Half
white
of
boy,
you
maybe
is
not
offended.
pretty.
He was.
Oh,
I
was
thought
gonna
he
say
was.
the white
in-
half.
Oh yeah, the white half of me is a little offended.
I legit thought he was going to
Pretty
be
white
another
half.
Hayden Christensen.
I can see that. I
Yeah.
honestly, yeah, but like, he's talented.
Yeah.
He's talented.
No,
I'm gonna
he's
give
He
him
very
that.
pops up
good.
in a
He's
few
very
movies. I'm
talented.
not gonna say which ones because I might spoil that film, but he is in a recent movie that came out that's fucking amazing. That's all I'm
I'll
gonna
have to
say.
check that
Okay.
out.
You'll
But
see him.
any favorite characters? Maybe characters we didn't like.
Okay.
Oh, of course, everyone hates Jason.
I was
Or actually, does
was
anyone actually like him?
I was actually, yeah, people like him. I've been seeing a lot of people actually be all about Jason. And I'm like, why? But believe it or not, I think my most disliked character is Lucas. He's been my most
Mike.
disliked character since the beginning.
No, I actually think.
How dare you?
Is it the
Kieran
flat
just
top?
called him racist.
No, man. No, it's not the flat top. It's just like, I'm tired of him he's just always seems like a dick to everybody. He's a
That's
dick. He was a
Mike.
dick to Max. He was a dick to fucking Dustin. He was a dick to Mike. He was a dick to Elle, and then he was a dick to all 3 of them in this 4th season when he's all like, "Oh, we can't just be nerds all day, all the time. We can't just play Dungeons and Dragons forever."
Yeah, like, they start-
I would never want to be a friend with you then. Like, that was not my friends in high school. Like, oh, he's all, but we gotta fit in. If I do this, we could be popular.
But
I'm
also
fucking
think
sick of you, Lucas. Die. I was hoping Jason would have choked his ass out. Actually, Jason's Jason's like mid tier. He's mid tier.
I didn't feel strong feelings about Jason. I was like, oh, he's a dick, but I understand. Like, he doesn't know what's going on. And Lucas, I really felt kind of neutral about. Like, I just, like, I was, again, it was like, oh, you're kind of being a dick, but I don't feel that strongly about anything you're saying or doing either. Like, I just don't feel that strong. I thought it was cute towards the end when he and Max had that moment. That was one of the few romantic scenes that got me.
That's the thing they always bring back with Lucas, because I don't hate him as a character. He's fine as a character. I do end up becoming neutral with him, but like it's always near the end of every season where it's like, oh, like, okay, you're all right, Lucas.
Now
you're
he's
good.
useful.
You're okay. But then most of the time he's just a goof or just an asshole to everybody.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then he has that one little moment with Max, and it is really nice. It's
Yeah.
kind of heart-wrenching because he's crying and this and
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about him and Sadie Sink's acting. They're the best actors in the season.
I love.
They're really good actors. I don't know if they're the best, but they're up there.
and that's my
They're
opinion,
good.
just because
Yeah.
Sadie Sink hasn't really done anything else.
Other than Eli, which that movie
Yeah.
sucks.
So like this,
sorry.
like her acting in
That's
this
fair.
was like very strong.
Dude, that's the one thing I took away from the beginning with these kids is that they're all really good.
They're getting
Yeah.
better.
They're getting better. Actually, you know who I think's getting worse? It's Finn Wolfhard.
Oh yeah,
He's
Finn Wolfhard is
getting
now
worse.
stereotyped.
I disagree.
You think he's getting good?
I think he's getting typecasted a
Yes.
lot, which is becoming an
Awkward,
issue.
tall, white kid.
Yeah, and like the sort of like pretty sad boy that like teenage
Yes.
girls want to love. That's very much the energy. And I think that's something a lot of people who don't like Stranger Things, because I looked into it because I wanted to see like what do other people who dislike Stranger Things feel about it. And I disagreed with them because the most common criticism was that they didn't like the acting. I thought the acting was fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, the acting's great.
Have
Yeah,
they never seen movies?
They're
I
Marvel
Show them the room.
fans.
They'll
I
see
think-
bad acting.
I think the person
Oh. I can argue that.
great acting.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
I think the person who I felt kind of that their performance was the weakest for me personally was Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
But you
And I
gotta
can't
give
tell
her.
if that's directing or not.
You gotta kind of. I honestly do it on a great, like a kind of like.
Like on a sliding scale.
Yeah, because like her character is like a fish out of water. She's still not familiar with what everything's going on. So like
Yeah.
there is that aspect, but you got to admit there are some moments where it's pretty good. Like especially when she's getting emotional or really showing a lot of like just a lot of sadness or something. Or it gets me every time when she does the whole
Yeah, where she does the
oh,
Kamehameha.
that.
Yeah.
I felt for her.
yeah.
In that first episode, I was like, oh.
I felt for her a bit because I was also a bullied teenager, but I guess I couldn't empathize with her, and I know she's supposed to be a fish out of water, and I'm willing to chalk a lot of this up to directing choices that
Yeah.
I did not agree with. But I think one thing that sort of bugs me that does not have to do with her at all, involving her character, is that I don't understand why every time a TV show or movie tries showing like, oh, look, this person has a weird past and they weren't socialized with people, they make them sound like Starfire from Teen Titans. What the fuck is up with that choice? Where they're like, oh yeah, if you talk like Starfire, if you don't,
if you're a
if
fish
you're not
out of
social.
water.
Yeah, if you're not
Which
socialized
that
with
is
humans.
mostly from the Teen Titans show. She's a little more developed now in the comics and in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
movies, in the
Yeah.
Teen Titan movies.
Yeah,
She's a little
they-
more developed.
There's still like weird speech patterns and all of that, but it's all around. She's a lot more developed, and I feel like that's what it almost feels like they were trying to copy Starfire with both the sense of emotionality, albeit I think Starfire has a much better range of emotions in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I also feel like the way they handle her manner of speaking, which part of that honestly could be in part the fact that Millie Bobby Brown is British, and so she might have issues with doing an accent because that can be a really hard thing to do.
Yeah.
But that's like half the cast.
Yeah,
Half
but
the cast is English.
Yeah.
Even Eddie.
and I agree, but I still think at the same time, you know, like it doesn't mean that she isn't capable of having limitations. I personally don't have strong thoughts or feelings on Millie Bobby Brown as a person. I know a lot of people really have issues with her. I know some people like her a lot.
Some people
I
really
don't
don't like her though.
Yeah, I know she said apparently some homophobic shit. I don't
Did
know
she
about
really?
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
I don't know about it. That's what I've heard. I don't know
But
anything
then, like,
about it.
I
I don't
know a lot of
about
people
her.
got
Yeah.
more upset about like her boyfriend situation. I know about that because she was dating like a dude that was like 25,
Which
when
that-
she was like, because she just
Yeah.
turned 18.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which we should shit on the boyfriend and not her.
Bro, the fool went on Instagram Live bragging about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Millie, I hit that. Like, you're disgusting.
Yeah.
But
No,
that's
absolutely.
that's a discussion for another
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Let's can we talk about Eddie, please? Can we?
Yeah,
can we
Alright,
talk
absolutely.
About
We'll talk about your
Absolutely.
hard on for Eddie.
I fucking love Eddie.
Everyone
This
does.
is the best
Eddie's
character
great.
I have ever seen. I've watched a bunch of TV shows. Like, one of my favorite shows was The Walking Dead, and I've watched a lot of cartoon shows as well. I loved Sons of Anarchy and like what's another, Friends and all that. Any show. I have never connected more to a character than Eddie.
Oh yeah.
I love him, and he had such an incredible arc. I
Yes.
love the whole thing of him like being afraid to deal with everything and running away, leading to the moment where he sacrifices himself to save everybody. It's just so and the guitar solo scene. It's so awesome.
You are
I-
so terrible.
I know, I'm sorry.
I
The
kind of
producer's angry.
The producer's mad at me right now.
I'll be
Kieran's
honest,
criticizing
Kieran's
him.
upset.
yeah. I was spoiled by what song they were gonna play just because.
Really?
Yeah.
How
one
did
of-
people guess the
Okay,
song?
my buddy who is like really good at guitar, he studied like the finger pattern and he said, "Oh, dude, that's Master of Puppets by Metallica." I'm like, "What? Seriously?" And he says, "I bet you." So I was thinking it was gonna be separate ways because like that makes sense. Separate ways.
No,
For Chris- no, because think about
that.
for Chrissy-
No, come on, he's a metalhead. He ain't gonna play Journey. He doesn't
Well-
even like Journey.
Well, because I was trying to think of what songs they can use, but then
I
when
was
they-
thinking Paranoid by Black Sabbath.
that would have been cool too. But
Because personally, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
was hoping that they were going to go down the Sabbath route in some way or another, because I didn't watch the trailer, but I hoped that Sabbath would have something to do with it, because of the fact that in like earlier on in that episode, I think, or the episode before, he makes a
mentioned it.
reference to Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah,
he talks
that's-
about like, oh, that was very Ozzy to Steve. So I thought,
that's exactly
Yeah.
what I was going. Why I went down that route of like, oh, he's gonna play a Black Sabbath song or like an Ozzy Osbourne song, and I started thinking like, what song came around that
Yeah.
time? And then the only one I can think of was like Paranoid, because I feel like that would match better.
Oh, yeah, that
and
would-
then
That
I
would've
was
been
like.
good.
I was trying to figure out was Crazy Train coming around that time, but
No,
was that more of a
Crazy Train was
90s
later,
song?
I
This is a
believe.
90s song, huh?
yeah, and I'm a huge Ozzy fan. I spent a lot of my life celebrating Ozzy's birthday. Ozzy and my sister have the same birthday, and my
Oh, nice.
my mom like was such a metalhead and still is to this day, that like her friends used to like play worship my sister. Like they would like jokingly like, oh, all hail the chosen one, because she was born on Ozzy's birthday. So
damn.
Awesome.
so
She is
I
the
love
chosen
that.
one.
Yeah. So I think personally, because I'm looking at the time, and we're probably going to wind up going over our general time restriction.
Yeah.
Well, I can try to go, because I
But,
do want
but
to go
what
to
I'm saying
cons
is,
and
let's
stuff.
do. Yeah, no, I know we still have half an hour, but if we're trying to go through plot points and all of that, let's just say favorite and least favorite characters.
Okay.
And just like we can have a few. It doesn't have to be like one or two, and we can discuss that a little bit and then try getting into the plot. Does that
Eddie.
work for
Yeah.
everyone? Well, I mean, Eddie's great, but aside from Eddie, we
Hopper.
just
Oh, least favorite?
Hopper. Hopper had, I think, another fantastic arc. They keep like giving Hopper great story plots to go off of.
That's what I actually put in my notes. Is I like, because you kind of, it's Hopper's always kind of been like a question mark.
Yeah.
Where like you know him and he's kind of goofy in some ways, but he's also very serious. But you're like, what got him that way? What got him
Yeah.
to that point? And then this
Season-
season really opened him up.
That's what I
which-
have to say. The best, because there's 4 subplots that we go through in this season, which I think was one of the cons I have, is that there's so much stuff going on to where some subplots had to get the back seat. The California subplot.
Yes,
That
I
is-
felt that those guys in the California one, when they was a lot of busy work.
Exactly.
Nothing
Yeah.
happened.
The only crazy
That's
thing that
all over
happened
my
for
notes.
that was what's
The
it called?
shootout.
The shootout.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's
fucking
it.
epic.
But
And that was cool.
really,
but-
the only interesting thing going on when 11 wasn't around for them was the thing with Will and Mike, because
Yeah.
I think everyone knows that Will loves Mike.
Yeah.
And I just want them to just go for it. Just
Yeah,
fucking
absolutely.
tell me.
Stop queer baiting us.
Exactly.
Seriously,
Just do
stop
it.
queer baiting me.
Here's the thing too, is that it's been confirmed, as far as I'm aware, that Will is canonically gay.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, like-
it's more obvious. They haven't
Yeah,
said it.
No, but they've said like off script that he's gay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Allegedly. This is like from what I've seen. I haven't seen anything involving it. Sorry, second of dead air there. But yeah, I noticed that it really felt weird in the way they were handling the sort of romantic aspects of that. I think also the way the show handles romance in general is going to be an issue.
Because you don't know who they
it's
want
an
to
issue
end
for
up
me
with.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it would have
that's
been
my
cool.
issue with the Jonathan, Steve, and
Yes,
Nancy
I have so many
situation.
thoughts and feelings. Do you guys want to go into a 2-hour one for this rather than an hour and a half?
Because
I
honestly,
don't mind.
I'm okay
Half
with
hour?
it because
Yeah.
there's a lot of shit
Yeah,
to talk about.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
so much because we're talking about a full show. We're talking about what was it,
full
9
season.
hours?
The full
9 hours
yeah,
of content.
9 hours
like,
plus.
that we're trying to condense.
Yeah.
So
Give it
And we still-
25% more work to do.
And we
Oh my
still need to
God.
get to the cons.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
I
do
know,
wanna
I
talk
know.
about
Like
cons.
Yes.
the last like few like pros I have is obviously like we mentioned earlier, Vecna being almost entirely practical, which is fantastic. Thank you, Duffer
Yeah,
Brothers.
I
And
like
also,
that.
I actually have the person who did the makeup for the show.
who did the makeup? Because I do want to
Um,
know.
It's the Barry Gower. He did, they did the Night King in Game of Thrones, which you can obviously
Okay,
see like
yeah,
the parallels.
I can see.
Really?
I
Yeah.
can see that. Okay, so I'm gonna have a hot take. I love the fact that they went for the traditional effects route. I think that was really cool.
I always appreciate shit
Yeah.
like that.
I wish they did that more throughout a decent chunk of the show because I think the thing is like special effects oftentimes cost less. But the thing is, when you're running a TV show, practical effects can wind up costing less because you're not able to reuse special effects the same way you can reuse practical effects. And that's something that really sort of stuck out to me in certain scenes.
was
I
it
think.
the fact that they had Vecna as a real person, but they had a CG Demogorgon?
So that to me wasn't that bad. I think the effects
Okay.
on that were usually pretty good. I loved the scene where I loved both of the scenes where Hopper is fighting Demogorgons in the prison, but that first scene really
yeah.
stuck out to me. I was like, "Oh, that's really fun. That was a fun scene to watch."
So fast paced and
It
quick
was
and
terrifying.
Yeah.
you really
Yeah.
got to see how fucking vicious the Demogorgon can be because
Yeah.
we kind of forgot.
Exactly.
You know,
Absolutely.
we haven't seen a Demogorgon since the first season.
Yeah.
And then this thing just fucking flies out of the door, just runs
Munching on
through
nine
seven
on the guy's
dudes.
face, yeah.
Absolutely.
And the fight scene between Hopper and the Demogorgon.
I want to talk about that in a little while, but
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get
But-
to that.
Well, that's what I was talking about.
Oh,
I
sorry.
thought that scene was great. But getting back to the practical effects thing, I think there are times where they could have gone for a more practical route. With the way the upside down frequently looks, the effects wind up getting a little bit choppy.
yeah.
In certain scenes where I'm just like, oh, okay, this is not great. When you see Henry/1/Vecna become Vecna,
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, I had to reference Robin because I do actually like her as a
Oh, yeah,
character. I
she's a
think
great
she's fun.
I love her.
I think she and Eddie were the two most relatable characters to me. But I think when you see like that transformation where it's like he's being sent to the underground and all that, it looked like dog shit.
it really
looked
did.
so
Looked like
bad.
a PlayStation 2 game.
It was so bad.
It looked pretty bad.
And
Yeah.
the upside down frequently looks bad to me, and certain creatures look bad to me. But I think that was the scene more so than anything else that stuck out to me is like, wow, this looks fucking terrible.
You saw where
just
the
looked-
budget went.
It just
Yeah.
seemed lazy.
Yeah,
You know, like there was no other way to do that whole bit, like of him turning into it.
They
had
literally
to
could
have
have just
been.
showed like what they did like after. They just reference him disappearing, and then it cuts to Vecna.
I think that
and you
would've been-
showed like the
Yeah.
one tattoo.
That would have been
Yeah,
better.
that would have been cooler.
Because I mean, you were gonna talk about it anyways later in the season.
Yeah.
With him finding the mind flayer and everything, like
Yeah.
you were gonna talk about that anyways. So there's no point of showing him. Like
Yeah.
you know what it reminded me of? If you ever played Mortal Kombat 4? And you,
Yes,
and you
that's
lose and you
exactly
lose the
what I
tower
was
and you're
thinking.
falling down that
Yes.
pit.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
And honestly, even the falling didn't bug me as much as the way they did the effects for like the lightning.
Yeah.
That was terrible. Like that weird lightning effect going throughout his body. I was like, this is horrible. And the irony is that when you look on YouTube, because I decided to look at the clip again to say like, hey, is this as bad as I remembered it being? It pops up almost immediately, and there are people who are like, I loved this scene. Like unironically, they loved it. And I'm like, trash. What?
Because
They like the scene, but they're not talking about like the way it looks, like the
well, because you got to understand, this does attract a casual audience, and some people are like that devoted to this show.
Yeah.
Which like it's fine. Like if you love a show, like it's great, but you kind of have to be like
Honest.
real about
Yeah.
it. Like that was kind of garbage.
Yeah.
Like it was really garbage to see that kind of shit. Because like legit, when that happened and it cut to that moment, I kind of just was watching it, just like, okay, like we didn't need to show this because this looks like dog water.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like I liked what you said. It looked like a PlayStation 1 game.
Absolutely. Getting to the characters that I liked in it, I wrote down and highlighted the characters I liked.
Eddie.
I think Eddie and Chrissy were the most interesting characters. So of course they were the characters to be killed off.
Yeah.
Yo, I felt bad for Chrissy.
Yeah, I felt
didn't-
really
Oh,
bad.
oh,
for
yo, no.
Chrissy.
Fun fact about that. Okay, so they shot her death before they shot her and Eddie talking, and the
That's
Duffer
Really?
Brothers, they didn't realize that the two actors were gonna have that much chemistry.
Their
They had a
chemistry was
ton of
fantastic.
chemistry.
I
Exactly.
wanted
That
to know.
sucks.
Yeah, I wanted to know what was going to happen with them,
But-
and the fact that we don't see.
But see,
is
the Duffer
really
Brothers
annoying.
have had this issue before because they had this issue with Bob.
Yeah.
In the second season, where they said that like they really liked the character, but they knew he was gonna die. They were actually gonna kill him off in like episode 4 or something.
Yeah.
But then they realized like, oh, actually, let's try to prolong this. Let's push it back, and they only could have pushed it back so much.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, we still have to kill him off, so let's just do it. And I think that was the same thing with Eddie. I literally watched the interview today with
Yeah.
him about it, where
And
they
it-
like.
Shout out to Joseph Quinn for playing Eddie, and shout out to Grace Van
Yeah.
Dyne for
Oh,
Chrissy.
I love the
Absolutely
Chrissy
fantastic.
character.
Yeah, I
but
thought she was great.
it's-
I have criticisms, but
Yeah, obviously.
I
everyone does.
I called it though, like, oh, this girl's dead. Like,
Yeah.
that girl's so dead, and I feel bad for this Eddie
I
character.
liked how they handled her death though. That was I was like, how far are they gonna go with this? And
Yeah,
they went pretty good.
Dude, they
went.
fuck people up in this show. Like the
Yeah.
whole just breaking their limbs
The
and
eyes
shit.
getting
and the-
sucked in.
Yeah,
I
Bro,
was
that's
like,
what that's what
badass.
put it over for me. Like
And
as
that
soon as
effect was great.
And
Huh?
the bodies hanging on the walls
Yeah.
were all practical.
Yeah, and
Oh, were they really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
saw
dope.
that. I looked into that. And I think even like the CGI of the breaking bones, I thought that was cool. I thought it looked good. That's something that I really enjoyed. I have a criticism for how Chrissy was handled, though.
Oh, yeah,
if you
go
guys
for it.
Go for
are
it.
open to it. So, trigger warning, skip ahead. I'm going to keep it within 2 minutes. So, my issue is the fact that the show was so focused on doing a trigger warning for the recent shooting that they didn't feel a need to trigger warning the fact that they really critically portrayed a character with bulimia nervosa. And for me, as someone who has struggled with that specific eating disorder before, that fucked me up. I did not like that. I also don't like the fact that every time bulimia is portrayed in TV and movies, it's always portrayed as being associated with
fitting into clothes and stuff.
yeah,
like that.
fitting into clothes and with body image in general, because body image can play a part, and for some people that's a huge trigger. It's also not the only trigger. Because for a lot of people, there are a lot of things that go into it. For me, it certainly was not the only thing that had anything to do with it. And I just
hold
hated-
up. What the fuck is going on outside?
There's fireworks, but I'm trying to keep this within 30
I
seconds
know.
now.
I'm sorry.
So, but yeah, I really wish they would have done some sort of a trigger warning. I feel like they kind of mishandled that situation. And every time I looked it up, I couldn't find anything on it.
I mean, you say they did the trigger warning for the shooting. It was legit, like 2 seconds. I didn't even get a chance to read it.
I forgot.
Like when it
I paused
happened.
it.
Huh?
I paused it because I read
Oh, I
trigger
didn't pause it,
warnings.
like, because I watched it with
forgot
a
they
friend,
had it.
and we were both just like, oh wait, what does that say? And I caught like the first like 2 sentences of it, and I
Yeah.
was like, wait, what was that? What?
Yep. So
And I couldn't go back to read it because I wanted to read it.
So if anyone here skipped ahead, we're now talking about the trigger warning for the shooting, which we're not getting into that at all.
No.
We're just acknowledging the fact that a trigger warning existed for that. I paused it because I'm someone who benefits a lot from trigger warnings. I benefit from, even if I'm still going to consume a form of content, I benefit a lot from knowing what I'm going to get into. And for me, reading that, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that works. It makes sense to have. But then watching it and seeing all of these other things that are triggering and being like, oh, you really only did the one thing that you knew you were going to get in trouble for if you didn't have a trigger warning for, that annoyed me a lot.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I think that's on Netflix's fault, not the Duffer Brothers, because obviously
Yeah,
they
of
don't have
course.
control over that.
Because
Yeah,
they obviously did it before.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
it before like all that
happened.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm 100% faulting like Netflix for that. That doesn't have to do with the Duffy brothers at all.
The
but
what
that
brothers?
was really. Fuck! I said the wrong thing.
The what?
The Duffy Brothers.
The Duffy brothers.
Yo.
I
Oh,
like
honey.
those guys.
Duffy.
We're drinking rum right now,
Oh,
just
yeah.
in case
It's a-
anyone
it's a
was
toasty
wondering.
episode,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is toasty in here.
It's so
so fucking hot.
It's above
And you're
toasty
next to
in
the
here.
fan. You're like
I'm
blocking
Yeah.
still
the
hot.
You're the-
Dude, I'm in my.
But you are easily the coolest person here.
I'm not even trying to block the fan. I don't even feel it.
It's all right. I'll suffer.
It's okay, Jay. You would not feel it from this distance.
I
anyway,
sat,
I can
I sat
assure you.
exactly there last episode.
Yeah,
I felt nothing.
You got
Yeah.
a little bit of it, but not much.
No, it was like someone doing like that to my face.
This is our ASMR. Kieran loves it.
I had to show it.
Kieran loves it when we go. He loves it.
ASMR. All right, let's not bully the producer.
He
Let's
loves
be nice.
it. It's his favorite.
Any other? What are our thoughts about Argyle?
That was the other. Okay, so there were 2 other characters I wanted to get into.
Okay,
Pros and cons.
Or at
because I
least
figured we're
mention
going through all the
that
characters right now.
I love Argyle and I love Erica. Those were like my
Erica
2
is-
other
Erica's been
favorite
great since
characters.
season
I
3.
love Erica.
She's been great, but like I loved the way they handled her. I loved the fact that they did such a good job with her. Argyle, I think that was, and I actually put in my notes that I felt for most of the season like Jonathan only existed A because he was already a character, and B to introduce Argyle, who I think deserves as much love as Eddie. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah.
50-50
Wow.
with that.
That's a hot take.
I like
That's my hot
Argyle,
take.
but I also don't like Argyle. Not for the character or the actor. It's just he was only written for this season. Like, do you honestly think he's gonna come back for season 5? I don't
Yes.
think
Better.
so.
Yeah.
No, better.
I have a reason why I don't think he's coming back for season 5.
I mean, if anything, they're gonna bring him back just to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, I have reasons I'll explain later in a theory
No,
segment.
let's hear it
No, I
now
wanna-
because
yeah,
Okay,
you're
well,
already
okay, so
there.
the reason why is
You know what?
because
I think we need to get more freeform with this. 'Cause,
Okay, yeah.
honestly, I say we pod until we're done podding at this point.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
fuck
'Cause
it.
there's
This is
things
a
we haven't
special.
talked about that
yeah.
I do wanna
and
talk
we're not
about.
going to get into this within the next half hour. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
so okay,
hour,
so like the
fuck
reason
it.
why I don't think Argyle is one gonna fit in season 5 and 2 will be in season 5 is because the Duffer Brothers already confirmed in recent interviews that the season 5 will take place almost entirely in Hawkins, and at the very end of the show, we didn't see Argyle with Jonathan and Nancy and all of them at the cabin.
He was there.
He wasn't at the cabin.
Yeah, he was. He was in the woods. He was playing around with the mushrooms.
Oh shit, was?
Yeah,
Yeah.
remember?
Oh, there's shrooms in this?
I mean,
Now-
he was looking for
Kieran-
mushrooms. I can only imagine what he was gonna do with them.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys can hear what Kieran's saying.
Yeah, so he asked,
Willie
"Holy shit, there's mushrooms in this show?"
Yeah,
But
that's
what,
his
the pothead
concern.
is doing mushrooms? What? But yeah, I'm actually gonna agree with you on Jonathan's character.
Yeah.
He legit existed just to hang out, to introduce Argyle,
yeah,
and just
But-
because he's already in the show, and to
Yeah.
have that conversation with Will.
And I
Yeah.
loved that. I will say I'm someone who I actually don't know if you two know this about me. one of my best friends is my brother. I'm very, very close with my oldest brother. He's genuinely one of my best friends. And sibling relationships really are capable of pulling at my heartstrings because of that, and because I have 6 siblings, so I have every type of relationship with a sibling you can have virtually. And I just loved that heart to heart. I think that was the best part of Will and Jonathan throughout the entire season. In fact, I think it was one of the best parts of Will throughout the entire show, because personally,
He's been getting the backseat.
yeah, and hot
He
take,
really took a backseat in the 3rd season.
and hot
yeah.
take,
And the first.
I
Well,
think
dude,
Yeah.
He
he's
was
the main
kidnapped.
point. He was
He was
missing. He's the main plot.
Kieran said and the first. So, but I think personally, and Kieran and I have talked about this before, and I know he agrees with me. So don't throw in your words that we have to say, because
Do you want me to move
No,
the mic for you?
he's fine because
He's like, I'm good.
no, he's
Stop blowing
I did that one for you.
he loves it when you do that.
Oh,
It's his
honey.
favorite.
Especially when you get
Jay
really
hasn't
close
done
with
that
the
yet.
mic.
I don't want to do that.
Do it. He loves it.
No, my only contribute is to say my catchphrase.
Bully Kieran. What's your catchphrase?
You have a
What are you
catchphrase?
doing?
The one I've been saying like twice already.
What have you said?
Oh, honey.
Oh,
Oh,
honey.
that.
Oh, is that your catchphrase?
Oh,
Oh,
that-
honey.
that.
Oh, if we get to a point, we're gonna get Oh Honey shirts.
If we could get merch, you guys make it so we can get merch. Share this
Yeah,
with
let's-
If
everyone.
you guys
Share
like my
this with
catchphrase, and I'll
everyone.
use it. What's the word?
No clue, because you did not give us any hints.
I just didn't know
Sparingly.
That
I will
catchphrase,
use it
'cause I don't
sparingly,
say
so
a
that
lot.
way it's effective.
Is mine? I got a.
like pepper.
Yes.
use
Yeah,
like
it's
pepper.
every once in a while.
Yeah.
Is mine? I got a hankering for corn.
Yes, it is definitely.
That was not like the best joke I said even, but it really got Devyn for some
Oh, dude,
reason.
it was so funny though.
I
Like,
got
the
it. I
way
got
you
a
said
hankering
it,
for
I was
corn.
the timing of it was so awesome.
I was laughing.
I had one joke that neither of them laughed at, and I was so butthurt. And then I got a hankering for corn, got the biggest laugh, and Devin reposted it and shared it in our group chat. And I was like,
I
"Wow,
did.
this is it."
Yeah,
Okay.
it was awesome.
I like that.
But yeah, no, that's I love watching strong bonds between siblings. That's something that really does
get that a
appeal
lot
to
in TV
me.
shows.
You don't. I think that's part of the reason that the movie Onward stuck out to me a lot.
Oh
because
my God, that movie's
yeah,
amazing.
oh my God, such a beautiful movie. That we should do a Pixar episode and
Oh,
have
yeah,
that
no.
be one of them,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's
I
such
love-
an
I love
underrated
Onward.
gem.
For sure we will.
It
uh,
broke my heart and made me cry 5 times. I didn't expect to like it, but I loved it.
Yeah, I expected to like it because I like most Pixar movies, and I think they've been going in a really interesting direction. But I didn't think it was going to be like phenomenal, and it really, to me, as someone who I have so much love for my siblings,
Now
and
we-
it
oh.
mirrored a relationship I have with the same brother that I was like, he's one of my best friends. That very much he was someone who raised me, so I was just like, oh my God, like. The next time I saw him, I was like, hey, by the way, did you watch Onward? And he was like, yes, and my mom, before I got to say, like, anything even remotely heartfelt, my mom was just like, I cried because it reminded me of you too. And I was like, damn.
I need to watch that movie too.
That's a
Yeah,
good one.
no, that's...
Onward is.
Onward is
We'll do
perfect.
a Pixar episode
We
within
definitely
the
gotta do a
next
Pixar
few
episode.
episodes. How's that? You guys
for
down?
sure.
Yeah.
I'm so
You guys
down.
all got Disney Plus, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, tight.
I do want to
so-
talk about 2 more characters I thought were incredible this
Yeah, of
season.
Oh yeah, go
course.
ahead.
Murray, I loved how
Oh!
I love how they were hinting like that whole cry thing, and I was
Yeah.
like, please don't make it a stupid
liked
joke,
that.
and they
When he
actually
liked
made it
that.
serious.
Oh yeah, and he actually
He actually
fucking
whooped
Mary's ass.
Yeah.
I loved that.
I loved that. I
and
thought
him
that was
actually
fun.
being Russian, I was like, holy shit, he's actually pulling it out. What the? This is
Yeah.
fucking great.
I
Yeah.
love that whole bit where they're like disguising himself
They're like-
to go
Yeah.
into it.
Murray will be Yuri, and Yuri will be Murray.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome.
And also, like, honestly, like, the fact that Yuri is so weird, so he was able to play a weird person playing an even weirder person was
Yeah.
so fun. That was
Exactly.
fun to watch.
And my last favorite character is definitely Enzo.
You liked him?
I loved Enzo. Like
Which
I
one
liked
was
him.
Enzo again?
Enzo was
That was
the,
the Russian
Russian guard helping
yeah,
out.
Yeah, that's
okay.
The
what
reason
helped
why I
out.
loved
I had
him,
mixed feelings on that.
the reason why I ended up loving him was because one, I love the entire Russian subplot. I think like if that was the entire season, I would love the season more.
That is one of the better subplots, other than the Hawkins stuff.
Yeah.
That's one of the better subplots that.
yeah,
were going
but the
on.
reason why I like Enzo is specifically because the conversation he had with Hopper, it hit me so emotionally just because, one, daddy issues, two, because... But the reason why is because, like, it was just... It felt so real. Like, I actually was like... I didn't cry on the death scenes of most characters. I'll be honest. Like, I'll even be honest. When Eddie died, I didn't cry. Like, I felt sad. But...
Same.
Okay, but here's
I wept like a bitch.
No. Here's the part that
Not
made me
even
wet.
lie.
Here's the only thing about Eddie's death that made me cry. Was when Dustin had to tell his dad.
That
That
was
was when
his
I
uncle.
broke.
His uncle.
His
Yeah,
uncle, yeah.
yeah.
That was when I broke down. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck.
I
That-
just rewatched that bit too. And I
Yeah.
was like, damn, that shit's
that
sad.
that was the
Yes.
only bit that got me genuinely to tear up. I did get kind of close with again the conversation between Jonathan and Will, because I thought that was really nice.
Not,
Yes.
I talked to a friend, a friend of ours.
Yeah.
She watched that. That she thought the scene where Will is talking to Mike,
Yeah.
and using 11 almost as like him admitting something to him, but not
Yeah.
really.
Mhm.
She thought that was really sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that I thought that was nice. I thought that
That
was a
w-
sweet scene.
But I felt bad for Will. It was another moment of the show, which I don't really get with shows. The last time I felt that was when you see 11 after Hopper died, quote
Oh,
unquote.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just want to give you a hug.
Yeah.
I just felt so bad for you,
Thankfully,
man.
though, the Hopper Bros did confirm that Will be this like one of the centerpieces for season
Okay.
5.
Well, yeah, of course. They
Okay.
teased
They
it at the
better.
end when he does
Yeah.
the neck grab thing.
And
Yeah,
his nose started
exactly.
bleeding.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I noticed.
I don't think
that.
he's gonna get powers,
That's-
but I think he's gonna be able to sense Vecna more better than them. Because remember,
Yeah.
11 cannot sense Vecna,
But Will still can.
but Will can.
Exactly.
Actually, can I get into something real
Yeah,
quick?
go for
it.
Because I do also want to segue into a thing with Max, a certain scene. But I want to talk about this thing with Max where she almost gets killed by Vecna.
Yeah.
And then she's in the hospital. But there was that weird thing going on with 11 and her when she was like dying, and she was like, "No, you can't leave." I am worried, and I hope they don't do this, that 11 gave a bit of her powers
No.
to Max.
I have a
think they
theory
will.
about Max. I think
Okay.
she's gonna die for sure, either early season 5 or the middle. The
That's
reason
what
why
I've
is
been
because
thinking.
look at it. The way for the Upside Down to fully open the
Is
gate
her dying.
is for her to die.
Yeah.
So there's actually a theory that Eddie is gonna come back as this.
Yeah.
What? Hold on, wait. What character is it? It's Kay's the Bloody Handed. He's in D&D lore.
Wait, what was the name again?
Kay's the
Kay's the
Bloody
Bloody Handed.
Kay's the bloody.
He's a
Handed.
half human, half vampire person, but I don't think the vampire thing's gonna matter. I think what's gonna happen is Vecna is gonna find his corpse in the Upside Down, resurrect him, send him back as a spy to get close with all the kids, and Eddie is going to kill Max in the hospital defenses, which will open up the Upside Down. Think about it this. So imagine leaving that as your cliffhanger if they decide to do the whole like split the season. Imagine as your cliffhanger, Eddie killing Max in the hospital. The Upside Down fully opens in Hawkins, and all the heroes are like, "Oh fuck!" and it cuts there.
I do like that theory, but the other theory I was thinking that someone brought up to me when we talked about it, he said that he believes that Vecna has Max imprisoned somewhere.
Oh,
that
I've
was
heard that.
Yeah, I've
that
heard that one.
And I'm thinking that what if Vecna kind of jumps into Max's body the same way the Mind Flayer jumped into Billy's body and plays spy with Max.
I mean, maybe, but then like his whole motive was still need like I need to kill this child to open up the
You
gate.
can make her kill herself.
Yeah, but then that's easy. That's the simplest thing to do.
But I'm just saying. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I think
It's a
either
theory.
way,
Yeah,
wherever they take Max, they're going to wind up
killing her.
doing one of
or-
those two
She's
things.
dead for
and
sure,
I
though.
think, I think she's definitely going to die. They may or may not go with Devyn's theory as well because it is a formulaic show in that regard.
But
Um,
I feel. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I actually was going to segue into another conversation, so we can talk about that after Devyn makes his point because I don't want to make
No,
it so
I
you
was.
can't.
Lose your
I'm
train of
waiting.
thought, yeah.
No, I was. No, that was because like I was thinking like the whole Eddie thing. Like I would love if Eddie came back because it is confirmed that Joseph Quinn did sign another contract to appear in season 5.
I
How
heard
that's
that.
gonna be,
Yeah.
I'm. One of the theories I had was that it's either gonna be flashbacks or Vecna is gonna go after Dustin, and you know how he like.
I originally
portrays
thought Dustin
off-
was gonna die in this season. He was on
A
my
lot of people did.
He was
Yeah,
on my
I heard
Deadpool
that.
roster for that. I
A
was
lot
like,
of
he's gonna
people
die.
thought Dustin was gonna bite the dust this series. That was an accident.
Yeah, that was good.
but,
so loud. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
I'm
To
trying
all
to-
our, we've been
Be away from the
blowing.
mic when
I
I'm
know.
yelling.
I
I
actually
know.
went
Watch
closer.
your ears, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm a loud person.
It's alright.
But yeah, I heard about that too. That a lot of people thought Dustin was gonna.
Because
die.
I thought like, how are you supposed to make like this like show into like super serious? Like you kill off like the comedic relief of the group. Like,
But see,
oh fuck,
That's one of my cons I had with this season is that like
it was too
stop
dark.
killing new characters.
Yeah, okay.
Kill someone that's
We
part
love
of the group.
someone we've already loved.
Because it's a
Yeah.
lot more dramatic if you kill off like a Lucas or a Max
Yeah.
or a Mike or a Will.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was hoping. Like I thought for sure Steve was gonna die.
Oh yeah.
He was on my. I don't have a death pool, but that's who I thought. Like, oh, Steve's gonna bite it. Because my whole thing, because I loved Eddie, but I thought like since they're introducing him with Eddie with Dustin, I thought that like
he was gonna
they're-
take the mantle
that
of
Steve.
like.
Yes, exactly. I thought
Yeah.
Eddie was gonna be now his what is it,
Babysitter.
Whatever.
New babysitter.
Yeah,
New babysitter, yeah.
New babysitter.
The other
Steve was
dad.
gonna sacrifice himself for like Nancy or something.
I actually wrote because I kind of like got to the point where sometimes when I was taking notes, I was essentially just like writing the first thing that that came into my head. Like I was free associating for a lot of my note taking. And one of the things I wrote was Dustin's two dads are better than Elle's two dads.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's
true.
that's
I
my
highly
take.
agree.
I agree. Eddie and Steve are great dads.
They
yeah,
are
they're
perfect.
excellent dads.
And those two
Um,
guys love each other. Joe Kieran and Joe Quinn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They love each other.
Yeah. So that's that on that. Do you guys mind if we start getting into some things we don't like
Oh
necessarily?
yeah,
yeah,
for sure. I got two minor things. But
I
go
just
ahead.
want to talk about the Max scene. Oh, and I
Yeah, of
also
course.
want to.
Oh, running up the
Please
running
do.
up the hills.
Yeah, and I want to segue it to the soundtrack.
Yes.
I love
This-
the soundtrack.
The soundtrack's undefeated.
Absolutely.
The soundtrack in this
It's
this
really
season is
good.
fucking awesome. I'll be honest. I've never heard of Kate Bush.
Me
Oh,
neither.
she's
never
great.
heard of-
I grew up on Kate Bush. I really like
Really?
her. Yeah. Well, because here's the thing: is like I grew up listening to a lot of like older music. I am someone who has really eclectic music tastes, but yeah, I love Kate Bush, and I thought that it was a good touch.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that they ended the series with Susie and the Banshees. That fucking rocked my world,
Oh, that was
and no one is
great.
talking about that.
But
Yeah.
that scene.
Well,
What, Kieran?
get it.
No one talked about that.
What the Susie and the Bandits?
Yeah.
Susie and the Banshees.
And the
not
Banshees.
Bandits.
Sorry.
Banshee.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I thought that was fantastic. And yeah, I haven't seen anyone talking about that. I think the only two songs people are talking about are
Is
Master of Puppets
And running up that hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone told me that that Metallica just got new fans
Oh yeah.
for another
Absolutely.
few more
Hopefully,
decades.
hopefully we got new
Absolutely.
metalheads too.
I hope so too.
Yeah, I
More
would
people
like
need
that.
to listen to more metal. Which,
Exactly.
by the way, I used to never like Metallica. I used
That's
to be
fair.
pretty open about it, but I've actually gotten into them a lot more. And this, like that the whole guitar solo scene got me more into them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. But I wanted to talk about that scene with Max. It's fucking iconic and it's so awesome. And I've never been so frozen watching a scene because that whole bit where she's like, you think she's gonna die, and then like she gets out of it and she's running and the Kate Bush is swelling and stuff like that. Like, ooh, I was like, I didn't breathe. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't breathing that whole time, man.
I was binge watching this the night it dropped, and I'll be honest. After that whole episode, I nearly wanted to stop and just go to bed. I was like, I am emotionally drained. I am exhausted. I was sweating. I wanted to go to bed, but I said, "Fuck it, I'll keep going."
Damn.
I said, "Fuck it, I'll keep going." It's 5:00 in the morning. I have work at 12, but fuck it,
That,
I'll
was
keep watching.
that was me. That was me when Volume 2 came out.
Dude.
Volume 2? Oh, dude,
That was
were
me.
you having issues?
I watched it all once it came out.
Were you having what's called error issues with playing it?
No, I didn't have any issues.
Dude, mine froze at like the last like 40 minutes of the finale. and
Oh,
I was
that
pissed.
sucks.
So I had to wait 30 minutes for it to play again, and then almost my energy was gone for it. I was like, I'm so pissed. I have to
that would
I have to wake up in 2 hours. So by the time this episode's done, I'm just gonna wait for another hour and go do what I have to do.
Yeah.
All right, hot take: that scene with Max didn't
That's-
get me that hard.
It's alright.
It's like, but I think that I'm getting.
Okay,
a
so
look
this
from
is the
Devyn
last
that it's not
podcast
alright.
that Ben's gonna be on.
Yeah, well, fuck. All right, you're recording at my partner's house, so I don't think it is.
Careful, you're
I
gonna be
think
walking
if it's
home.
the last podcast I'm on. It's the last podcast. I think that's.
Yeah.
She's got clout.
How dare
I got clout according to
But
Kieran.
no, I want to hear.
Continue.
I wanna hear these reasons now.
I don't have any. Here's the thing: is like I had to get very introspective when watching it this time around because historically, I have tried giving the show like the benefit of the doubt, like an opportunity, and it hasn't really paid off for me. But it feels like the kind of show I would be into, so I kept trying to watch it. And with this specific season, because we're doing this podcast, I had to sort of really go out of my way to watch it and see what it was I didn't like about it. And what's interesting is that wasn't a scene that I could really say anything about other than it just didn't get me. There was no flaw that took me out of it. I just didn't feel a strong enough emotional connection to love it either.
How about the part where she was talking to Billy at his grave? That part got me.
Oh, that
See-
I teared up a bit.
Yeah.
That got me. It wasn't like it didn't get me in as crazy of a way. But I was like, okay, I get it. Like, I can understand why people enjoy it. And I think that's what I felt throughout a lot of watching this. What I will say is I actually wrote a note. Let me scroll down because I have my notes in, like, giant old lady letters because I'm not wearing my glasses. One thing I thought involving Max's relationship to this whole thing was, and again, I was free associating for so much of this. I wrote, how funny would it be if 11 and/or Lucas turned against Max when she said she wanted Billy to die? How fucking funny would it be if they were just like, dude, this bitch said what?
I said that. I was like,
Yeah.
this bitch said Billy died.
Like,
No.
because I didn't, like, I'm not someone who felt very strongly about it in any way, but I thought it would be so funny if either one or both of them were just like, wait, why am I rooting for you to live? You're a
Yeah.
piece of shit.
I will admit,
And I don't think she is, but that was
part
funny to
did
me.
Take me out of it where it was like, wow, that's kind of fucked up, Max. Like, that's really mean.
Well, I mean,
man.
if you look
Yeah.
at Billy from season 2 without the knowledge of season 3,
That's
you can
true.
understand. I don't think you would
It's
want
not
the
even
same
the
thing.
knowledge of season
But-
3. It's the
yeah,
last 10
regardless.
minutes of season 3 where you're like, oh, Billy, no.
Yeah.
No,
but-
because you get to see his backstory. And it's like, I kind of relate to that backstory. But again, me being an older brother and the
But-
oldest brother, I'm not nothing like Billy.
Yeah, I was going
I
to say,
like MILFs,
hopefully you're
but
not an
I'm not an asshole.
On behalf of both MILFs and pretty white boys, I feel like this podcast is evening out now.
Yeah. But how about the overall episode? Because I see a lot of people saying that this is the best written episode. I think it's a strong episode. It's not the best written. Shout out to Sean Levy, who did Adam Project and Free Guy, and soon to be doing Deadpool 3.
Wait,
He
Sean
wrote,
Levy did Free Guy?
yeah, he
Yeah.
did Free Guy and the Adam Project.
I didn't
And
care for the Adam Project.
the Adam Project was okay, but Free Guy was. I can go on about Free Guy. Free Guy's
Oh,
amazing.
Free Guy's great. I
But
love Free Guy.
it makes me choke up. It's my feel good movie. But
That's fair.
Sean Levy.
How ironic. Joe
I-
Keery's in that.
Wait, Joe Keery. Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's in it. He's the guy that makes that program.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So Sean Levy, he did a great job of coming in to direct this, and honestly, seeing this and Free Guy makes me kind of excited slightly for Deadpool 3. But we'll get into that another time. But go ahead.
Absolutely. So which episode specifically are you
It was
talking about? The
episode 4,
final
Dear Billy.
episode? Okay.
That's what a lot of fans
episode
are
4,
claiming.
That to me, it was fine. I don't think it was the best episode of the series. I don't even think it was the best episode of the season.
Because
in my
isn't that
opinion.
the same episode? Isn't that the same episode they figure out about like Vecna a little
The
bit?
music?
Yeah.
About like
No, wait.
the
No,
Vinny
they-
Creeley guy.
Not that
With
thing.
that's the episode Robert England's in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
they learn a
So-
bit about the music.
I like that, but
And-
the reason why I was hyped for it at first was because when she was at Billy's grave and Vecna appeared, I genuinely thought, holy shit, Vecna is fucking Billy.
And then
Because it's like, I
Yeah.
want you to join me. I'm like,
That would have been
fucking
cool.
Billy.
yeah.
I think that would have been cool. And I will say I liked Victor Creeley. I thought that was interesting. I liked that paid off.
Yes.
Because that was the only scene in the entire season that got me fully immersed. Like 100%. I was there. I was in it. I was fine with it. I think it suffered from what the vast majority of the show suffers from, which is pacing issues.
I was gonna say world building.
World building, yeah, but like honestly, it's just the fact that I feel like a lot of the time when you're interested in a certain area of the plot, when you're like, oh yeah, this is really cool, that's the second they decide, okay, we're gonna cut to the next thing. And I'm
Yeah.
like, it doesn't build suspense for me, it just takes me out of it.
I don't know. You okay? So I gotta call you out on that. Because this is obviously your biggest issue with the show is the pacing
Yeah.
of it. I really had no issue with the pacing.
And
I thought the
I
pacing
only think
was,
one episode was a drag, and I'll be honest, I'll get into that about what I don't like.
yeah.
I thought the pacing throughout most of the show was actually really good.
It was
I
fine.
thought it was done very well. I didn't feel. I mean, there were some scenes and episodes where it kind of dragged. A lot of it had to do with the people in California.
Oh yeah.
Which we will get to in a sec. That I felt dragged, even like little things. Like I didn't feel like it dragged. I felt, in my opinion, the show was paced pretty well.
And here's the thing is, like, if you like the pacing of it, that's fine. I'm not going to shit on you for that. I'm not the type of person, I never want to yuck someone's yum, so to speak.
No,
Like,
yeah.
which I guess is like a kink shaming
And I don't
sentiment
mean
usually,
and I don't
but,
mean to do the same thing to you. I
no,
just thought
and absolutely, like, you're entitled to disagreeing with that, but I think for me, the biggest issue throughout the entire series really is that they're trying to combine a minimum of 3 shows, sometimes more, into a single show. And I don't think that plays out as much as I think people would hope. If it were me, I would cut the plot lines in half.
Yes.
And I think that would make the show pay off a lot more. We wouldn't have to sit around and just wait for interesting things to happen. And I don't just mean that in terms of dialogue, which you had touched on earlier, but I also mean that in terms of things like payoff and the fact that we're in this weird situation a lot of the time where something suspenseful is about to happen, so they cut to another scene where something suspenseful is about to happen. And I wind up at a point where I lose my suspense. There was also this weird editing choice where, because I noticed it's something that seems to draw in people who are fans of this show and the way it's paced in general. Because I noticed 2 separate times, there might have been more that I wasn't paying attention to, where a scene that was about to build up, I noticed it, I think both with Hopper scenes, actually, weirdly enough. No, one was with Hopper when he was about to fight the first Demogorgon in the prison, and the other was with Elle when she was, at one point when she was going up against Vecna, where they cut it completely. The screen goes black for like half a second or less in order to seemingly build suspense. But for me, someone who was not able to fully engage with the content itself already, I didn't really feel like any suspense was building. It just felt like, what the fuck? Why does it feel like they're about to cut to an ad break when there aren't ads in this show?
Is that a similar part where Vecna's like about to kill Max and
Yeah.
11 blasts him back, right?
I think so.
Okay, I agree with you on
I
that.
agree.
Yeah.
That was really weird.
It was weird, and it wasn't the first time they did that, because I'd already written in my notes about how, hey, it's super fucking weird that he's about to go up against this thing, and then all of a sudden it cuts to black. What is happening? And so, like, when it happened the second time, I was like, okay, this is clearly an intentional choice. It almost felt unintentional, and I was like, how do they make such a big error in such
They
a
forgot to cut the
high-budget
scene.
show? Yeah, where it was like, what the fuck is happening? But the fact that they did it twice, I was like, this feels weird, and I think it's in order to maintain the style of pacing they have.
And also they wanted to drag out the length.
Yeah, but that style of pacing doesn't work for me personally.
All right.
I know, sorry. I was just checking the time mostly.
Yeah, and I figure we can go on with this as long as we need. We can make this a special episode, sort of.
We can have our own
If you
part 1,
if
part
you
2.
want, because if you
volume
A volume 1, volume
yeah,
2.
volume 1, volume 2,
situation.
yeah.
No, I was gonna. I mean, I get what you're talking about. Those
Yeah.
edits were really weird when they would do that, because it felt like it was gonna go to an ad break, and it felt like we're building almost synthetic suspension.
Yeah.
Where it's
That's
just like,
absolutely it.
like, just show me what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing with this fade to black shit? Just show me what's going on.
And I think the pacing is dependent on that in a lot of ways, and it only really pays off in the last 2 episodes. To me personally.
I do
in terms of
hate
pacing.
how the Duffer Brothers also love foreshadowing. Because think about it. Robert Englund obviously plays Freddy Krueger, and Vecna is inspired by Freddy Krueger. So it was
Yeah.
kind of obvious that his son or someone related to him was going to be the Stranger Things Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
So that foreshadow. Also,
yeah.
Eddie's tattoo of the bats, and then him dying from bats.
I honestly,
Like, it's not on the nose, but also
It-
it's like
it's a
once you
little
see
on
it,
the
you're like,
nose.
it's obvious.
Yeah.
Also, as someone with a tattoo of bats, and as someone whose favorite animal is bats, and I love bats and I love spiders, I'm so fucking tired of this weird vilification of bats and spiders, 2 animals that are very helpful to our ecosystem that just get shit on nonstop, and this show does not, it's not an exception to the rule in terms of that.
I just want lore building that explains like where the fuck are all these animals coming from? Because think about it, we
Yeah.
only know about the Demogorgon. Then all of a sudden there's Demo Dogs, there's the Mind
Yeah, what
Flayer,
the
there's
fuck
the
is up
physical
with that?
version,
There's the
there's bats
bats.
now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to
that
see
was
the lore.
See, that was going to be something I brought up. I was going to say about the Upside Down, where we kind of started learning about it.
We
'Cause
barely
that's
after
been
after
after
3 whole
four
seasons.
Yeah.
after 3 seasons, we're finally getting to know a
And
bit
they're
more about
alleged-
the Upside Down.
And I'm
Yeah.
irritated at what they did. Like,
Yeah.
because what I was hoping for was like, oh, Vecna and the Mind Flayer working together. I wanted the Mind Flayer to be its own like entity, something that is existent from another world, something we don't understand. But no, it's just particles that Vecna's manipulating.
All right, so for me, first of all, like, I was gonna add something to what Devin said, but I completely forgot what that
Oh,
was.
sorry.
About-
So,
Sorry
about
about that.
the Upside Down. We're just learning about the Upside Down. They're allegedly only going to do 1 more season.
well,
are.
they said
Season 5 is
they're-
confirmed to
Yeah.
be the final, but they are going to
But-
do a spin-off series.
But here's the thing: is like I don't.
But they said it's going to be different.
I want it to only take place in the Upside Down. Imagine, I'll get into that after, but go ahead.
that I have pros and cons on that. But I think for me, when it comes to this whole like, oh, what is the Upside Down? I don't like the fact that we only have 1 more season to explore the most interesting thing about the show.
The thing that makes it unique.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and what you were going to say about the spinoff. So
Like, I can't imagine what they could do for a spin-off, but I see that they have, like, a strength of introducing new characters that are fan-favorite. So that's what I'm thinking. They can make the spin-off without bringing back any of the characters or cast from the current show. What I think should happen is, obviously, the Upside Down's going to open and
Yeah.
shit's going to go down. What if there are survivors that are stuck in the Upside Down after the series ends?
That would
What
be
if the
cool.
spin-off takes place strictly there, and it's almost like a Last of Us kind of thing where there obviously there's towns and stuff there. They have bikes. They have things that kind of work like electricity. And it's these people that are trying to find their own way out. With all the gates closed and stuff, they have Russia and stuff. They're like just
yeah,
a strictly upside down
That-
not even a series, a season. Make it a limited series where it's about these people, new characters, vast whatever, are trying to escape the upside down.
I think I would only be willing to watch that if they did make it a limited series because I
Exactly.
think first of all, like there's only so much you
can't
can
really
do with
do
that.
a whole series about
Exactly.
that.
That's why I said, like,
yeah,
that's the only benefit
Yeah.
I think Disney does sometimes is they only do limited series, which I like because there's some stories that you
don't
can
need
only
more.
tell. Yeah.
Yeah. I think also honestly just the effects. It's very clear that they budget the effects for the beginning and end of each season.
Yes.
And not in between. And I think if it were a limited series, they would be able to focus the budget and sort of distribute it more evenly.
Exactly, and they can
I
build
think that might be
atmosphere.
cool.
Well,
Yeah.
about that 5th season, they did confirm because first off, there's not a script.
Yep.
They've said
They're writing
that
in August.
they're writing it soon, and they're saying it's going to be a couple years
Yep.
till we get the 5th season.
They said they want to try to release at least something about it in 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but they said that the Duffer Brothers said that they do want to really flesh out the Upside Down, really explain what it is, because like we haven't really seen much. We finally got what's going on, why the Upside Down looks a lot like Hawkins, because it's a replica of the day Will vanished, which
Yeah.
is the day it opened, the gates opened, which I thought was really cool. Because, I mean, at least it's something. Because it has been something that's bugged me. Because, like, how does it work? Like, how does anything work? Like, how did the Mind Flayer really get into the real world in Season 3?
Yeah.
And just stuff like that. And so, like, I do appreciate that they started working on that. And explaining the Upside Down, and I hope they explain it a little bit more in the 5th season.
Yeah, but I do kind of agree with Ben that it's probably not gonna be fully fleshed out, or at least enough to where it's like we understand everything.
Yeah.
Like, obviously
I don't want to understand everything.
well, like obviously not understand everything, but like obviously like stuff that's like interesting that you might want to know, like the ecosystem. How the hell are there new creatures popping up? At least.
Sorry. Finish your thought though.
Yeah, no. Again, just what's it called. There's things I love that they're doing, but there's also things I feel like now they're trying to like just connect everything where it's like too convenient. Like the whole theory of like Vecna was the thing that kidnapped Will in season 1. I call bullshit on that. The Duffer Brothers admitted that they wrote each season as its own thing, and they didn't decide to connect anything until season 4.
But
Yeah.
No, but they also admitted in an interview recently that they said they've been planning this. They've planned a lot of the stuff that's been going on.
Maybe by season 3, but I call bullshit on season
They
1.
said
that
from I don't know, man. I watched those theory videos and they seem pretty legit. Like Vecna
it's
was
too
involved.
convenient.
I know it's convenient, but it makes sense though, because if you do watch that first episode where Will gets kidnapped, you do hear clocks.
Well, the show is formulaic, in fairness.
It is.
You know, like
Yeah.
I mean, and not to shit on a show you like, but
But no, I think
No,
like
it's
maybe
fine.
season 5 they can make it make more sense. But for now, like with the way they kind of played it out in season 4 and the theories, it's like I call so much bullshit. Like it's a Demogorgon and stuff like that.
Yeah, that-
but also that's also plot holes. Like if it's a Demogorgon, why did it kidnap Will and not kill it? Well, you can say Vecna had the Demogorgon kidnap Will and maybe wanted to use him as a portal. But
Yeah.
I don't think Vecna himself was there.
No.
I don't know. I have a lot of weird feelings. What I will say though, because it seems like we're all ready for it, we're going to take a very quick break for you. It'll feel like nothing at all.
It really will.
5,
Yeah.
4, 3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
Adios.
Just
Hola!
like that, as if we haven't left.
Exactly.
All right.
You will never know.
So
It's a mystery.
So we were talking about Vecna, and
yeah, okay.
Ben, you have some
That
thoughts.
guy.
I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of feelings. First things first, and it's about to get a little
Heated.
catty in here. I think Devyn specifically is gonna get mad at me.
Oh my god.
I don't love.
Why do you? What?
I don't love Vecna's character design, first of all. Okay, so I like that they did practical effects. I thought that was cool. What I didn't like was the fact that I feel like when I looked at Vecna immediately, because he's so humanoid, my immediate mindset was, if this is not someone who was already a human at some point, I'm going to be fucking livid. And
It was though.
yeah, that's my point, though, is I don't want to look at Vecna and immediately know that he's got a backstory of having been a human. And Jay, you look like you have something to add?
No, I just agree
Okay.
with you.
All right.
That's my
Tight.
one pet peeve. Well, I have two pet peeves about Vecna. That and the thing I mentioned earlier about him technically being the one in charge. I kind of find that super irritating.
Yeah. That bugged me as well, albeit that didn't bug me as much as certain other things. Like, and Devyn, if you have a counterpoint to liking, like, why you like it, let me know. If it's just, oh, I like
Besides
it, that's
that
fine.
he's
That's totally
Freddy
valid.
Krueger-esque.
You're wrong.
Okay. Valid.
No, I don't. I mean, like, I will say this: the design isn't original because it almost like I remember when I first saw him when he popped up. I kind of thought about if anyone's seen this movie, it's on Netflix. It's called The Void.
Oh,
Is
I
when-
know exactly.
You know what I'm
I
talking about? The
haven't seen
doctor.
it.
Yeah.
When he comes up at the end and he looks like that, he kind of reminded me of the doctor from The Void.
Yeah,
in
and
some
I
ways.
think that's one of the flaws about Stranger Things is that they're so into inspiration and callbacks and stuff from classic 80s things to where sometimes it doesn't feel original. Like season 3 was Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
it really was.
And
See, like so stuff like that.
yeah, and
Because you can only do like, because I guess that's the one issue I guess I could have with Stranger Things is like I'm a sucker. I love me some dopamine. I love me some nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Everyone.
It's great.
Yeah.
But
MCU.
if you I mean, you can't really run an entire show based off nostalgia.
Yeah.
Because it kind of
Yeah.
gets boring sometimes. Because then you're going to run out of ideas. Because you're just like, oh shit, we never came up with anything original to do. But the one thing that it's never bothered me about them doing that is because they usually do end up doing something kind of unique and doing something cool with those ideas and those premises from
Yeah.
old school like 80s movies and stuff like that. So it's never really bothered me. But you bring it up and it's like, yeah, it can be like
It's just a
a
pet
bit
peeve.
annoying
Yeah.
where it's like no original idea. Okay, cool. I guess I mean, like, you know, we said the season 4 is Nightmare on Elm Street, and he looks and he has even the long fingernails as like Freddy Krueger,
And even
does.
the house.
the house too.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
house.
and not even just that, but I also got kind of Voldemort vibes from the
Oh.
character design, which I
Yeah.
think you guys probably could pick up on.
Yeah.
Easily.
And I think there are other more unique ways to do sort of that style of thing. My other thing was like his monologues, because he's a
He
villain.
loves
that
He
loves
loves
the
monologues.
monologues.
He's like, this is for theatrical people.
That's the one thing that
Yeah.
did bug me is when he got Nancy and he's all like, "Let me show you what I'm gonna do," and it's just like, why don't you just kill her?
Yeah, like,
he's like,
I want you to
warn
Just
them.
end it right
That-
now. It's
that-
like, what are we doing?
That bugged me. Another thing involving that bugged me is the fact that like when Elle's like, no, like it's a pet peeve of mine, and I think sometimes it works, but I fucking hate when they won't just let a villain think that they've won in order to catch them off guard. They're like, no, I also have to throw my pride in here.
Which is why I find it funny when I was watching this interview with the Duffer Brothers, they compared season 3 as their Empire Strikes Back, and even said it almost similar to season 4. But it's weird because like they lost people, but they still won. While like, Empire Strikes Back, they lost.
Yeah.
Like they lost a lot. Like Luke lost his hand, Han got frozen, and you know they just got their asses kicked. While like
I can see
Stranger
some similarities,
but they still win.
Yeah, they
like
still
the
win.
Mind Flayer still dies.
Yeah.
And they still stopped Vecna's plan in this 4th one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's not really Empire Strikes Back because they still lose, which is my biggest issue with this season, which was I wanted them to lose.
Yeah.
They
And they
teased it a
almost did.
lot in that Volume 2 trailer where it's like, yeah, they should lose. I think that's what, because like honestly, what I want, I'm sure they're gonna do in the 5th season, where the Upside Down finally comes out and everybody realizes what the fuck is going on, and you know now it's them trying to close up the gates. That's what you would set up for the 5th season.
Yeah.
But I was hoping they would set up for some people to die, which is why I was thinking Steve should go, one of the main kids should go, like
Dustin.
Dustin.
The
Like,
only
if you-
reason, yeah. the
I
only
mean,
reason
because
why.
everyone was saying it, but like, yeah, I guess if you
Yeah.
want to kill off somebody, Dustin would be cool.
I only said Dustin because I feel like for, like, say Eddie survived, that would push Eddie to really want to like help this group out and be a hero.
I want to go back in time now. I want to tell the Duffer Brothers you want to kill Dustin.
Well, I think the thing too, and it's something that I wrote down in my notes, is the fact that like Dustin is very clearly the linchpin. He's the person who holds the group together, and
Exactly.
that's
Not Mike.
very
No,
Okay,
Mike is all about
not
11,
in this season anyway.
and Lucas is already like kind of doing his own thing.
Yeah,
Will, he's again.
He's
been-
on Mike's nuts.
Yeah.
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 So Dustin's like again, like I agree with you.
At least in this season, Dustin plays the role of linchpin.
Yeah.
He holds everyone together. He keeps everyone intertwined, which is fine, but it felt like his only role in the season was to keep people together and to occasionally crack a joke, which
Yeah.
sucks because I think he's an interesting character, and I also think it's a real bummer that the one time we get actually good representation for someone with a disability, it has to be a character that they kind of don't have that much to offer in this season, and that sucks.
You don't feel
know?
Dustin had much to offer?
I mean, think of the only thing. Oh yeah, he did have Susie in season 3, and she did help them with the whole code and the Russian thing.
I mean, he's the one that can't. I mean, he's the one that kind of like thought of the idea to go after him and knew about all the weaknesses that they could utilize against him.
But I
Yeah.
don't feel like when I was watching the show, I was thinking much about that. I feel like when I was thinking about it, I was just like, oh,
It was
okay,
like almost common
Dustin's-
sense.
Yeah, it was like, okay, yeah. And also, it just felt like, okay, Dustin is bringing the group together, and he's making it so that the plot sort of moves along.
Yeah.
And I felt the same way with a few characters. I felt that way with Will in a
Mhm.
lot of regards. I felt that way even sometimes with Mike, where it felt like, yeah, he's just moving the plot
Well,
to its
granted,
logical
you could say that with
conclusion.
most of those California
yeah.
characters, where
and
it's like
and that's
nothing
something
was
that
happening.
bothers me is that there's a lot of the show where things are moving to their logical conclusion. Moving back to Vecna, and how he's a drama kid and he likes to just monologue.
I
loves
like
about-
monologues.
spiders.
He loves monologuing.
Spiders.
Spiders.
Fucking what was up with his monologues? Because here's the thing: is like his first monologue started so well. It
Yes.
started great.
It turned a little angsty.
It turned angsty, and it turned very much what you expect of any villain monologue. It didn't feel unique to his character at all.
No.
No,
I did
and-
like the monologue, though.
Yeah, and the second monologue was exclusively just,
I'm bad
hey,
guy.
I'm a yeah, and I feel like in the last episode, well, like the last 2 or 3 episodes, it almost felt like they dropped the guilt angle, which was his whole thing,
Yeah.
and I was like, what the fuck? That was your whole
Wait,
thing.
the witch angle?
The guilt.
Like, he's
Oh,
only
yeah.
taking people that were guilty.
Yeah, he's
guilty.
basically the shame wizard from Bad Mouth.
Oh.
That's,
No, Shame Wizard gets way more development.
I love Shame Wizard.
Shame,
but
I love
yeah.
his music.
Oh my
The
God, yes.
shame wizard.
Also, just like, my God, can we talk about just such a fantastic actor?
Nigel
But-
Thornberry, yes.
Yes, I love him.
Yes.
But, you know, he very much is a similar type of character. And first of all, I gotta say, it didn't make sense for his character.
For
Or
him
what
to
about what?
monologue like
it
that?
didn't make well, okay. First of all, it made sense for him to monologue because bad guys love monologues because they're very dramatic and bisexual in that manner. But like that
Right,
got
man,
Kieran.
That Kieran.
as a dramatic bisexual who has been monologuing for a fair bit of this podcast,
Hey, there you go.
I can honestly say that's my vibe. But yeah, he loves monologuing, which, you know, that to me doesn't feel incorrect to his character. But I find it weird because, well, I find it weird that we have Vecna, who his entire thing is that he loves feeding off of shame and guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with Henry and number one, there's not really, like, one doesn't have a reason to be obsessed with guilt. And Henry doesn't have much of a reason other than, like, I have a dad with PTSD who's trying to keep up appearances, which is, it doesn't do that much for me.
He came off like a really angsty teenager.
Yeah, like he just butthurt about his dad, and he's like, "Oh,
For what, though?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And also, his dad was such a good character, and I hate that we didn't see more of him.
yes."
But, like, that felt like the entire thing was just, like, my dad is such a dick. It felt like his entire rationalization behind the whole thing was just that he's a butthole. Like, the whole thing was just, Henry's a dick, and this is why this entire
He's
show
an anal
exists.
cavity.
See,
Yeah.
and that's that kind of. I just want to go back to that bit where he shows Nancy what happens. I kind of hate it when the bad guy shows the good guys what happens,
Yeah.
and then they
It's to move
still
the
end
plot
up
forward.
losing about it.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that kind of thing. I really do.
That's
'Cause
why-
it's like, it would have been better if he ended up winning, because it's like, yeah, I even showed you what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And I still did it.
That's why it pisses me off that he's the one in charge and not the mind flayer. It's like I would love the idea of like the mind flayers, this thing trying to get to maybe our reality, because obviously their reality is a fucking wasteland.
Yeah.
So it's what's called natural selection or something like that. That was interesting because like, how can you argue that?
See, I was even thinking that, and I talked about this with another friend of mine, where I suggested, what if there's like a civil war between Vecna and the Mind Flayer, where
That would be
both of them
interesting.
want it's like
Vecna
a
wants to
power
dis-
grab. They both
Yeah.
want to be the leader or be some sort of ruler over the Upside Down, but both of them are quite powerful. Like, because the Mind Flayer is still powerful. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
even though he's gone, kind of.
But
not
wait,
really.
was
Gone
Vecna
but
the
not
one
forgotten.
possessing Billy in season 3, or was that
That's
the Mind
kind of
Flayer?
what they were getting at.
Well,
That's
yeah.
what
That
he
was
was
that
the
pisses
one-
me off. It's like, I hate that because, like,
It feels like they're selling out the entire show to make one season that on first view feels good if you don't think about it too hard.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my issue with the show in general, is that I felt a lot of like, if you don't think about it too hard, it feels good. But like for me, as someone who previously hadn't thought about it too hard, I was like, it doesn't feel great, and I don't know why that is. And now I'm like, oh, it's all these reasons. You know,
they're trying to make Vecna like a Thanos. Like, they want you to relate to him. It's like,
But
no.
if you're gonna do that, let him
Yeah.
win.
exactly.
Let him win the 4th season, and you come back in the 5th season. Give the
Yeah.
characters a motivation to really go after him.
Yeah.
Because there's really not much. They already kicked his ass. At this
Yeah.
point, they're not worried
Yeah.
about Vecna all that much. Yeah, they're not. They acknowledge that he's still out there, but it's like, oh, we gotta mainly close up this gate that's on the
Yeah.
outskirts of town. We'll deal with Vecna if he pops up again, whatever. And
I have
it's
a
like,
ma-
nah,
yeah.
man, like you tease Vecna as like this all powerful villain, and especially if you're gonna make him seem as the guy who was at
guy
the
in the
beginning,
chair.
the guy in the chair the whole time, the guy
Yeah.
from the beginning who's been starting everything. If you're gonna do that, then really make him out to be the bad guy and
Make
give
him
him a
threatening.
dub.
Absolutely.
Give him a dub. If you really
Yeah.
want your Empire Strikes Back moment, Duffer Brothers, this was the season to do it. Kill off a couple more characters. The only good thing that should have happened is that Hopper comes back to Hawkins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, and that legit should have been the only good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think for people, because I know some, and it's an issue I have with movies and TV shows where they don't want to go that they don't want to go that route where it's negative. They want people to leave a theater or be at home happy at the end of what they're watching.
But no, they made the ending supposedly dreadful. It's like you're supposed to be worried, like, oh shit, something bad's obviously gonna happen.
But we
But it
always
didn't
feel
carry
that way
enough
after
weight.
every season. Like
Exactly.
after
So
the
why did
first
they-
season,
why
it
did
was
they
like,
hold
oh
back?
shit, Will just puked up a slug and he's connected to the Upside Down. And then the second one, it's like, oh, the Mind Flayer didn't really leave. He's still hovering over us. And then the third season, it's
Actually,
like,
season 3 is the only one where they somewhat ended it on a.
on a bleak note because
Yeah.
Hopper died.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's it.
died.
Yeah,
But everyone
that
knew
was
he
air
didn't die.
quotes, by the way, in
Air
case
quotes,
you
air
couldn't
quotes.
hear the air
I
quotes.
know, sorry.
You can tell on his tone.
You can
Yeah,
tell from the tone.
You could hear the
Thank
air
you, Jay.
quotes
Thank
a
you,
little
Jay.
bit. Yeah.
But,
But
you know.
no, sorry. Go ahead. Finish your point.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that like that's why I like season 3. Season 3 I feel like was the most balanced. Like, it had enough comedy. The style and flair of it was fun. It matched the season. It was coming out for 4th of July. You know, I'm not patriotic or anything, but I fucking love the colors and vibrancy of season 3.
It's
But
the most vibrant
Yeah.
season. It
and
has the
I
most
like
colors.
the villain. Think Billy, the possessed. Or I'm gonna say this specifically. Possessed Billy was way more intimidating as a villain than Vecna. I was
Yeah.
terrified of Billy so many fucking times. When he
It's
blatantly
because he's just shredded.
That-
just yacked out of his
but,
mind.
like
just
when he
busting
was
through
fighting.
doors
No,
and
when he was
shit.
physically taking on Elle, I'm like, Elle can't physically take him. She only has powers, but he was still keeping up the fight. I was like, this
Damn,
dude's
you-
a fucking monster.
Damn, you make a good point because like Vecna even still had problems with that. Like,
Vecna
yeah,
can't
Yeah.
physically fight. Look at his one. He has a jerk off hand.
he's got that salami grip on the left. bro.
Exactly.
It's a salami
Ooh,
grip.
wow.
But
What he
like,
can do with those
but
fingers.
no, damn, like that's actually a really good point because like yeah, Billy actually took it to L. Actually hurt L too.
And he was able to hold back somewhat the mind flare until it got the best of him with the bites on the side.
yeah, of course. I mean, it's a giant
Yeah.
monster. He can
Yeah,
only
but
do
he
so
still
much.
took it on head on.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, that was my whole thing with coming into this 4th season because I really the trailers and kind of what I was feeling from it was like this is gonna be the not Empire Strikes Back, but this should be the Infinity War.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
Where
was
maybe
gonna
s-
be the Infinity War. Yeah,
But where I think some characters should die, and then I was thinking maybe L gets captured by Vecna or
Yeah.
something. you know. But I
To
think
where
you
they
should,
don't have their little silver lining
Yes.
hope. Yeah,
they don't have their silver bullet.
and that's one of my biggest problems that I'll get into later is Elle. In this season specifically.
Let's
She's
get into
OP.
it now.
Go get into
Let's
it. Just go for
I
it.
hate how she was able to save Max from the brink of death. I literally, when I was watching it, I was saying, "Don't do this. Don't fuck." You
I thought she was
fucking
gonna do
save
this.
them.
She's gonna do the Mr. Miyagi thing.
And then the zap.
Yeah, I
It
honestly,
pissed me
I
off so
expected it
much.
to be even more ham, so I was fine with it. But again, it's because the show is formulaic, and because I expected it. I saw
Well, no,
it
because
coming.
I
and-
knew like each season ends with a big tragic death. So I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this would be perfect, Max." And not only that, like we said, Empire Strikes Back. Vecna wins. The gates open, and the gates were opening.
Because we all want to see,
Yeah.
as a person who's been watching Stranger Things from the beginning, I want to see the Upside Down come to the world.
Yeah.
Like, and I want to see what everyone's reaction would be. The government, fucking the people of Hawkins more specifically.
That's
Yeah.
also kind of why.
Everybody.
That's also why I kind of wanted Eddie to kind of come back because in the end of the show, he's deemed as the fucker who did this shit.
yeah,
You want his redemption.
I want his
I think that would be
redemption
cool.
because imagine that like yes, he's gonna get possessed and he kills Max and pretty much opens the Upside Down. I want to see a moment where he takes his fucking guitar, whacks Vecna across the face. That's
That'd
what
be
I was
awesome.
hoping. Look, so with him playing on the trailer, I thought like, oh, he's trying to bring Vecna to him, and I thought he was gonna die a heroic death where he legit was whacking Vecna and having like a mini fight and then died a warrior's death.
See, okay, so like I actually want to talk about that Eddie thing coming back.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be like that.
No.
But I mean, I don't think he's coming back. But I feel like there is that out because I mean, he technically got attacked the same way Steve did, and
Yeah.
he was fine. He was just fainting a little bit, and they just wrapped a little toilet paper around his ribs,
But
and he was
also,
good.
if Elle can technically bring someone back from the brink
But
of
why
death,
would she bring back Eddie? She doesn't even know Eddie.
No. Elle won't do that. Vecna would do that, like again, as a spy.
Okay, well, in that
Okay,
sense,
yeah,
yes.
because I mean, he has the
Because
same
he needs
powers
to
as
physically
Elle.
kill Max, and say Elle blocks her mind from him. He has no access to her unless he possesses someone. What better way than to get to the physical body of someone he has there? He
And,
has the
and
tools.
technically, the Upside Down isn't open. It's
Yeah.
it's
It's leaking.
breach. It's
It's-
leaking.
yeah.
Like kind of Papa was which, by the way, we never even explained Papa coming back for some fucking
I
reason.
had such mixed feelings about that.
I'm so
like-
pissed off that he didn't look like fucking Jigsaw from
I
Punisher
thought he would have
Warzone.
like a scar.
No, I wanted
Yeah.
him to look like Jigsaw from Punisher Warzone because you saw what the Demogorgon to do. How the hell did he come out with just 2 scratches?
Dude, that's
I
what
don't
that's
know.
what I was saying. I was
Like-
telling
like-
Alex that because
he-
we were both pissed off about it. Like, why the fuck? Like when he
Like-
popped up, I was like, no fucking way, you die. Like what
Yeah.
the fuck? You got wrecked by the
thought
Demogorgon.
I thought a dumb logical way they would explain it is like, oh, since the government they have plastic surgery.
they
you
never
could've fixed
explained
it.
anything.
No, okay.
He was just there.
And also, can I just get into the fact that like his death scene pissed me off.
I
Like,
hate
that-
episode
that
8.
final-
I'll
that
be honest,
final
episode
scene-
8 is my least. It's not a
Really?
bad episode.
Okay.
I just
I liked it.
the reason why I don't like it that much is because I felt like it was given the Deadly Hallows Part 1 treatment. It was a
I see
setup
that.
episode.
Yeah.
Oh,
For
yeah,
what you
it's
wanted
definitely
to,
a
what
lot
you
of
came to
setup.
see.
But for me, I like setup that at least flows in a way that fits in with conventional storylines. Kieran just flipped off Devyn, and I can't get past it because it makes me laugh. I'm sorry. That distracted me.
Kieran's.
But I think Deadly Hallows Part 1 did
but-
it better, though.
Yeah, I mean, because at
I'm
least
gonna
it
take.
was
I haven't
working
seen
off
Deathly
of.
Hallows, but
yeah.
I'm offended.
I mean,
I grew up on
but,
Harry Potter, so
but
that's my-
Deathly,
yeah.
Deathly Hallows works off of a source material that works. I
Yeah.
think is the difference because it was the one that was the most close to the books of any of the movies, so you can at least watch it as a fan and be like, oh, okay, I enjoy this. Whereas when there isn't source material, you're like, okay, whatever. I liked episode 8 because I was just like, okay, this at least feels like we're working towards more. Because I think for me, there are a couple things I would do different if I had my hands all over Stranger Things. One of the things is I would make less screen time. I would make fewer episodes so that we can focus on only the important things. Because I feel like oftentimes Stranger Things doesn't really worry about doing that in order to show these sort of more minute issues that don't really seem like they pay off in the end.
That's
Is it-
why
yeah.
that was my biggest issue. Like I said, I'm gonna keep bringing it up with the California crew.
I
Like,
think they
legit,
kept
like-
splitting up the groups too much, and I'm glad they said like
They're not
they
doing that
actually
anymore.
confirmed that the pairings and groupings are going to be similar to that of season 1. So literally like 2 groups max.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Which is
like,
okay.
but that was my
That-
issue.
that's
Like,
fine.
like I'm gonna piggyback what you said. Funny, that like that.
get
Yeah, they
Wait,
there are a lot of-
question. Hold on. Before you say anything, question. Are you piggybacking in a pizza dough refrigerator? Yeah.
Pineapple and
course.
jalapenos, man.
No, but like, yeah, I think if you shortened a lot of stuff, if you cut a lot of stuff out, and I'm gonna keep saying it with the California crew, legit, it's all busy work they're doing. Like the whole
Except
going-
Argyle. He's my man.
I mean,
I love
he
him
gets
so
to
much.
he
He's
gets to
so
hook
funny.
up with
I love him.
fucking homegirl's hot ass
Oh
sister.
yeah.
the
I was
chick
like,
from
"Ooh!"
Breakfast
Which
Club?
also, that was a scene
The
that
chick
did
from
not.
Breakfast Club?
Oh my god, yes, she was Ali Sheedy.
Yes, I love it.
But like
Ali Sheedy?
the chick who played Allison in Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Uh,
The weird
Oh,
one.
that's what she. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think she
Which,
looks so familiar?
by the way,
She
what was
did
with
look
all the
familiar.
Breakfast Club visual cues? Because you also got Annie Beth McNulty. I don't remember what her name was in the show. Robin's crush.
Yeah, she looked like Maggie
did.
Wheeler. Oh no, not Maggie Wheeler. What's the fuck is her name?
Molly Ringwald.
Molly Ringwald. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I thought that a lot. She looked specifically like her in Pretty in Pink, and I was just
I
like,
don't know who
that's
Maggie Wheeler
interesting.
is.
But by the way, can I, just
swear
say?
I know who that
'cause
is.
I
Oh,
put-
that's
yeah.
homeboy's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put it in my notes because I didn't realize in the first episode that it was Amy Beth McNulty, and I am a huge fan of Anne with an E. I am an Anne of Green Gables super fan because I don't have a life, so I can be a fan of kids' books from the like turn of the century.
It's alright.
And I thought she was fun. I would have liked to have seen more of her, to be honest, because I was just like, it's Amy Beth McNulty. She's a really good actress. Oh my god. And then it was like, wait, I'm realizing this in the last episode. They're not doing shit with her character.
Yeah, that's probably and that's
Yeah,
probably going to be
that
the
sucks.
only time you see her. Which, by the way, I forget her name. What is
Susie?
Dustin? Susie. Are they ever going to bring Susie to Hawkins,
God
or is she
only
just
knows.
going to be an
No.
external character?
Probably external, honestly, it seems like.
This is what I'm saying. If you do the
Yeah.
Upside Down coming out, you have a reason to really bring in Susie to the group because you can say it's spread it over there.
Yeah.
Like, and Dustin has to go save her.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't that be a fun episode
Yeah.
where Dustin, Steve, and like a couple other people have to go help Susie out
That's
because
something I
she's
wanted
getting
to see of the-
attacked?
That's something I want to know of the Upside Down.
And then you
Like,
kill
is it
off
only in
Argyle.
Hawkins, or does
How
it
dare
actually
you.
spread throughout like the rest of the world?
That's-
That's something that we don't know. Like, because we know Hopper goes into the portal, and then all of a sudden he comes. Oh no, he
It
didn't
wasn't
even
a
go-
portal. He just dug into
Yeah,
a hole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say he didn't even jump into the portal, so the Russians just came in
No,
and captured
yeah.
him.
Oh, I
that's
thought you were
just-
talking about that thing in
'Cause-
season 2.
No, because what I was getting at was this is how long this season 4 is. It made me forget, but I thought he jumped into the hole and then ended up in Russia, which is why they captured him.
That's the one thing I was kind of hoping for, and one of the theories I had, because I did think maybe Papa was going to come back, but I was thinking they're going to dedicate a whole episode to Hopper in the Upside Down, and he's going to run into Papa.
Yes.
And that's going to force the two of them, Elle's dads,
Yeah.
to help each other to get out, and Papa, it would end with Papa
Yeah.
sacrificing himself so Hopper can get out.
Which would have been cooler. I think there are a lot of things
Because
about it.
because
but-
when Papa shows up, and I immediately was like, this dude's gonna betray you. Like,
Yeah.
there's
He's gonna
no
die.
doubt. And then
I'll be
guess
hon-
what?
yeah.
I called
did.
his death.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, he
his
has
death
to
was one of those deaths I was satisfied. I was like, thank you,
Yeah.
he's dead.
So-
I wasn't.
So
I
th-
kind of wish Elle crushed him.
so this
I'm glad how Elle handled it, though. She
Okay.
legit just like, fuck you, and left. I loved it.
So this circles back around to two other things I was talking about. Is number one, things I would do different. The other major thing I would do different is I would cut the cast like in half.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need that
Could've
many.
killed them all.
Honestly, yeah, that would be one option. There's so many different ways. I wouldn't have.
And you know
started
they're
out with
adding
that
another
level of
person
cast.
to it. They say they're
Of
not
fucking
adding another
course,
person,
of
They're
course.
going
but they're
to.
adding
Yeah.
the girl that
Yeah.
Robin's going after.
Yeah,
She's
and,
obviously going to get involved in the group.
But I
they
love
may
Amy
keep
Beck-
Eddie's uncle.
And they also said they're gonna do a Return of the Kings-ish.
Yes,
Yeah,
I heard about
yeah.
that. So
Which-
it's never going to end.
yeah, but I
Where
love
like the finale episode is the ending.
yeah. But I love Amy Beth
how that
McNulty.
works.
If she's the person they bring in more, I'm fine with it. I love her so much. She's so talented. We're like, I'm forcing people to watch Anne with an A now. It's happening, but she's so great.
Their
Yes,
viewership
we're
just
doing Anne of
skyrocketed.
Green Gables episode. It's happening.
Okay, I'm down.
Oh my God, is it happening?
I'm down.
Anyway,
She got excited.
Hey,
we'll see. But I mean, my other thing though is that I was starting to say that like, I think when it comes to Papa, the way they killed him off, the fact that they let him monologue about like everything I thought, that like everything I did I thought was for your benefit, and I really was looking out for you at the end of the day, 11. I would have loved if instead of all of that, I think it would have been a much more meaningful scene to me personally if they had just made it a thing where he clicks the button, it comes off, she looks over at him, she runs into the thing, and then you get his point of view where it fades out and he can't, where he's dead. That would have been cooler to me.
I think that would have been cooler, but also at the same time, I think they were trying a little too hard for you to kind of care about him.
See,
yeah,
here's
and I don't care about him.
Yeah.
Here's the issue I do have with Stranger Things. It's okay to listen to your fan base, but when your fan base is a bunch of people who like making like stands shit or like what was the old thing, fan fiction stuff, or
that's
we
really
stand what's the new one, Bobbin,
Oh,
or
yeah.
Or Mill.
or Nobbin, or whatever they call Nancy and
whatever,
Robin
yeah.
together.
Oh, yeah.
They tend to do that a lot, and I know they've done stuff with like Elle and Papa.
Yeah.
Where they wish they see him as a good dad, which is weird.
'Cause
and
in
I
modern
know
media-
they do this stuff to appease some fans,
It's
Yeah,
because modern
but, like-
media is only relying on fan service.
and it sucks.
Yeah.
Which is like, and granted, Stranger Things is a lot of fan service, but they usually do it pretty well.
Yeah.
But it's like little stuff like that where it's like,
You can tell.
like we didn't need that. He
Yeah.
could have just died.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he could have. Why do we need a whole ass
didn't-
mom? I don't give
we
a
didn't
fuck
require
what this
that,
dude
yeah.
has to say.
Yeah, I was cheering when he
started.
died.
Elle was right. He started this shit. It's the
Yeah.
same shit when they fucking tried to make me feel bad for that. What's that one bitch's name that Elle smashes in the face?
Oh,
Angela.
I love
Angela.
that.
Fuck that girl.
Yeah, fuck
and they
her.
tried to
Fuck
make you
all
feel
people
like-
named
and then-
Angela.
And then fucking
My
they. And they fucking.
Yeah, exactly. That's,
That's
Kieran's
my-
mom's name. That's my mother.
Like 5 of my aunts.
And they made it seem
five
that.
of
Five of
Jay's
them.
aunts.
And they made like Elle look like a monster, and then Mike treated her like a fucking asshole. And it's like, bro, you were there.
Okay.
You saw what
no.
happened.
Hey, when she did that, I was like, I wouldn't stop. Hey, if I was
I
my
would have
daughter,
told her,
I'd
hit her again.
Okay.
I wanted her to whack the stupid ass blonde boy behind her. He was
Okay.
a dipshit to me.
Yeah. All right. I have two takes on that, by the
Yeah.
way.
Okay.
The first is just like, I kind of understand why Mike was like, hey, what the fuck, because he doesn't know anything about like what's going on. So I'm like, okay, it was annoying, but like I
But
get
he
it.
was there when.
Yeah,
they
no, I
bullied
understand,
her.
but I understand him also being like, hey, you're trying to keep a low profile, don't do this shit.
Yeah.
Like I see both sides to that. My big issue though is like they didn't know that she was going to be in the roller rink. They had no way of knowing because she'd already stated, like, it had already been talked about earlier on when she was talking to Will that she'd only been to the roller rink once before, and that she went specifically for Joyce's friend's birthday party or
It
coworker's.
it was a work thing.
Yeah. So, why the fuck is it that they immediately see her there and they're like, oh, we're going to do this well-orchestrated bullying thing?
And they just had a camera
Yeah, they
waiting
had...
on standby.
The
they-
carry thing.
Yeah. But also, they're all, like, doing some synchronized skating shit. How
and they
did
got everyone involved in it.
Yeah. What kind of fucking well-organized bullies are these?
What a bunch of
that they didn't-
sociopaths. They're in
Yeah.
Lenore, California.
They get the rock
Well, they
Yeah.
got the
on that.
DJ in on it. He's all like, tough shit, bro. I
Yeah.
can't turn off the music. Your girl's gonna get bullied right now.
And also, like, they had no way of knowing she would be there. She's never there. What the fuck?
Well, they didn't know she was there. They just saw
Yeah.
her there, and they're like, "Oh, let's go do something."
No,
But then
but they
she
saw-
happened. Yeah, I agree with you. Like
Yeah.
they were only there for like what 5-8 minutes max. How were they able to like choreograph this whole thing?
That's my thing. There was like fucking choreography going into this, and they're like, "Yeah, no, we are well organized." Like, were they planning months in advance in case maybe she were to show
We're
up
gonna
at the?
wait
They're like,
till
oh,
her
yeah.
boyfriend
Yeah.
shows up, and
They're-
we're gonna absolutely embarrass
The boyfriend
her.
that
Yeah.
they thought
That they
was
thought
fake.
was
That
fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like just in case it's real, let's do it.
Yeah, that was something that really stuck out to me as being annoying.
I will say this though, I have to give a massive praise and shout out to people who the actors who have to play assholes.
Yeah.
And the fact that if you can
Oh,
hate the
absolutely.
character, they did
They're
their
doing
job.
it.
So like the girl who
Mhm.
played Angela, her name's Elodie.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah,
Let me see.
You
it.
want me to see?
Hold on, let me see.
yeah, go for
I
it.
know a lot of baby
Right
name
here.
pronunciations. I have a kid.
Elodie Grace Orkin.
Yeah, she played Angela. I'm not even gonna look at the background asshole actors, but and Mason Dye, who played Jason,
Oh,
ironically
yeah.
name matches, and what did he do? He died.
Yeah.
Why die? Jason died. Mason died. Yeah.
Huh. That's clever there. That was some clever wordplay.
It worked a lot more when I had to practice earlier.
She's
You're
best
sitting around
known
looking in the
for
mirror
her
like, yeah.
role
This would be funny.
in the Brat TV series.
That makes
Stage
sense. She
Fright?
was in a Brat TV series.
Whatever the hell that is. Here, take
No,
the
don't
laptop.
say that. That sounds weird.
Whatever the hell that was.
But yeah, no, that was something that that just really irked me. Was I was like, I had bullies, and like, I mean, the most well orchestrated they ever got was they used to go on the second level of the school so they could throw food down at me from the first,
The most
and that was extra.
I feel
most
like my
organized
bullies
I've
were
ever
lazy
s-
then.
The most organized I've ever had to deal with bullies was they just agreed to throw him in the dumpster.
Oh,
I've-
wait, yeah, no, I
Your guys'
had
bullies
that.
are
Also, my
creative.
friends did that. Yeah.
Mine were lazy.
Oh.
They just said, "Oh, fat ass, white trash." Okay.
Oh wait,
would've preferred
I
that.
do have, yeah, I do have one well orchestrated thing that a bully ever did. Well, that a group of bullies ever did to me was that one time when I was in elementary school, we were doing Bloody Mary, and they were like, "Oh, you won't do Bloody Mary," and they like fully just got my ego, and I was like, "I'm gonna do Bloody Mary," and then as soon as I started doing it, they locked me in the bathroom, and I was stuck in there for half an hour, and that
Just
sucked.
waiting for
Ironically,
death.
that's what happened to my mom in middle school.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck is up with these bullies repeating trends?
I don't know. Again, lazy.
Yeah, apparently.
Why do
Yeah, you even,
bullies
you,
are
even
lazy.
said the bullies join me in the dumpsters creator. That's been in every fucking 80s
Yeah.
movie, 70s movie about nerds.
Bullies need to get more creative.
Yeah, I've had friends throw
How
me
about
in the
just don't be a
dumpster.
dick?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
God, I was bullied a lot. I'm just now realizing this.
You got 15.
We've got more time because we already said we were gonna go more freeform, right?
But okay. But what else did you want to talk about?
Because Kieran was trying to.
Negatives.
Kieran's
so
trying to wrap
Kieran's
us
trying to
up.
No,
wrap
I mean,
us up.
but-
He's
but,
done
like,
with our
negatives.
shit. So the other negative is that one thing that really bugged me, and this is I think my last big thing that I can think of right now. I'm no longer looking at my notes. Is they kept trying to force relationships.
Yes.
They kept trying to be like,
With
Weren't you kind of gonna
Yeah,
have the
you
same thing with
started
like
talking
fan
about that,
sites
yeah.
and like they want this and this?
well, yeah, they do that.
Pairing.
That
Yeah.
kind of goes into what I was saying, where they kind of do lean into the
Exactly.
fan service of like those weirdo fans who are like, you know, I'm in on TikTok and going on the Stranger Things rabbit hole, and everyone,
Yeah.
you get those weird chicks who like make edits of like certain characters. Like I saw the one with Jason where it's like he's a good boy, he's just mad.
Yeah.
It's like you girls are fucked up.
Who? Oh,
Jason.
Yeah.
But like even outside of just that aspect of things, which is already like, ugh, but like I feel like it becomes very apparent that we're watching a teen show when we catch ourselves watching a show that it's going fine, everything's going all right. Sorry, I like had a bunch of rum and coke, and now I'm like trying to fight the urge to burp.
I've been burping off the mic this whole time.
Yeah, no, I like very quietly burped, but it was like building, and I was
hope
trying to
you caught
talk and
that.
do that. Yeah, I also hope that got caught. But and now Kieran's burping.
Oh, that got caught.
Yeah,
We'll see.
that's the funny thing is like I don't mind burping, but I'm just like this was not a worth it burp to stop and burp.
That was worth it.
That was
Yeah.
worth it.
That was great.
That was a good
Bravo.
one.
Shout out to the sound
Yeah.
producer.
But you know, it feels a lot like when we're watching the show that there are certain times where we're supposed to sort of like stop everything that actually matters to the plot in order to give a shit about some forced ass relationships so that presumably people can ship it, but it's like first of all,
That's the word I was looking for. by the
yeah.
way.
Yeah, like I don't want Steve and Stacy to wind up together. Nancy, whatever, I don't give a shit
So
at this point.
I'm on that
Let's-
boat where
yeah.
they shouldn't get together. That's why I say kill off Steve. So
Yeah.
that's what they should have killed off
'Cause
Steve.
I don't want to see that couple be forced. It's not worth it to me. It doesn't feel like like
We've been there.
yeah,
We've seen that relationship.
I would love to see them just be platonic friends. Also, I'm sorry, but telling someone who is your ex, like, I want 6 kids is way too fucking strong. Like, I want 6 kids and I want them with you. That's a lot.
That is a
Yeah,
lot. That's
like,
a,
to
that's
drop
a
on
bold
someone
move,
in
Con.
the-
Let's see if it pays off.
In the
Yeah.
middle of like you guys are about to die, it's like, well, thanks for that.
Not even about to
Fuck.
die. They're about to go fight for their lives
Yeah.
right now and get some ultra powerful being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's like, I want 6 kids. Like,
But by the way,
With
can I
you.
just?
oh, honey.
By the way, I just want.
Oh, honey.
Jesus Christ!
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
It's gonna
By
happen.
the way,
Guys.
by the
please
way,
make it happen.
so I know like they started teasing that Will's gay. Help me recollect. Wasn't that something shippers were putting up online? Am I wrong?
It started
I-
back in season. It only started in season 3. It happened
That's
right after Mike said these specific words. It's not my fault you don't like girls. Right after he dropped that comment, everyone went,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's gay," because they
Well,
lingered on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, before that, so in the first season, all of the characters were queer coded. Interestingly enough, all of the primary cast was queer coded, and I think they kind of just have waited it out to pick and choose who feels right for that.
I thought it
and-
was perfect for Robin.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice little
I think
twist
that was
they
fun.
did.
I think
No,
that was
Robin's
fun.
one of my favorite written characters.
Yeah, I think she's cool. Like I said, I think she and Eddie are the 2 most relatable characters in my opinion.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think like because they originally sort of started with talking about like quote unquote perverts and weirdos and sickos and all of these things, which were in the 80s ways for people to talk about gay people.
Mhm.
That was a very common thing to do, and the fact that we had situations where like the only girl character of the younger cast was someone with a shaved head also fed into that, and there were a lot of different ways in which they fed into queer coding and coding of specifically how people used to talk about queer people in the 1980s. And I just, it's like I get it, but at this point, like, people are joking online a lot about how, you know, like, oh, I love all of the ways that they hint that Will's gay, like when he's crying in the pizza place and when he's crying talking about his painting and when he's crying doing this.
When he,
It's
when he
like,
cries in
I
general.
Yeah.
love it when he's
Mood.
miserably being gay.
Mood. It's
Miserably closeted.
Miserably closeted.
no,
exactly.
honestly, on behalf of the gays, why do I feel like I talk more about my gayness in this podcast than ever normally?
I mean, out of the people who
But-
are on the mic right now, other than our producer, you
Yeah.
are basically the
gayest.
represent.
I'm the gayest,
You're the gayest
yeah.
out of everyone in this.
Yeah,
in the
that's
studio.
fair.
I don't count.
That's fair.
You don't
You
say.
count.
You're about as hetero as me.
Well, no, because I've dated
Slightly
guys
less,
and stuff.
yeah,
but
I was
haven't,
gonna say.
like,
Wait,
it's
you've
not
dated
like-
guys?
We've had this. Okay, we had this discussion already.
we
We're
did
talking
it.
about this more off mic.
Yeah,
How's
we do.
that?
I'm
'Cause
sorry, I
This
didn't
is
mean to
going
call
to
you
turn
out.
into a full
I
tangent.
didn't mean to call you out
No,
like
it's
that.
all
Yeah,
right.
no,
I was
I
like,
already
that
knew
caught me
about
off
that.
guard.
Yeah,
If you not know
yeah.
about that, because you and I have had this
talk-
conversation.
Have we had this talk?
I don't
Yeah.
know if you guys have,
I don't
but I
think
know
we
that
have,
he
man.
and I have.
But-
Anyway, Kieran just said we're
Kieran wishes he
oversimulating.
was dead right now.
So what do you say? I bring home my last point. If you guys have anything to add on to that, we'll add it on, and then we'll wrap things up. We're running an extra long podcast because we just could not condense all of our thoughts.
No,
into...
it's impossible.
I do have
Yeah.
2 more things though.
Okay.
Let me look through mine.
Let's-
Okay, go ahead. Go
okay,
ahead.
yeah.
I'm gonna look through mine.
So-
One of my questions I really want answered, and I'm pretty sure everyone can guess what the answer is, but what the hell happened with Enzo and Yuri?
Okay.
Because
so
they're
I've been
traders.
wondering
Because they're
that.
traders
I've been
of
wondering
Russia, so
that.
they can't get back. What I think is, obviously, they're hiding out with Murray because technically Murray's off grid.
Yeah.
But are they going to play a substantial role then going forward?
Yeah.
I hope to do because I
That's-
love
I think
Enzo
that'd be
and
cool.
Yuri had that kind of minor redemption arc, which I think could be well more developed.
Yeah.
Because Yuri was kind of funny. I liked him until he became like, oh yeah, I betrayed you. Haha. Vladimir.
I am so Russian. Haha.
I am the most Russian.
We're gonna be the reason why U.S. goes to war with Russia.
Oh, absolutely.
And I just realized I actually have 2 things. Anyway,
Go
continue.
ahead.
No.
The last thing I
Jay.
wanted to bring
Yeah.
up was that there's a theory going around that there's gonna be a new monster the final season, and it's gonna be based off of Boris is a Hydra dragon, which is in Will's drawing.
Yeah.
And that's again foreshadowing. Duffer Bros like to do it, so that could be obvious where they're going to fight him, and obviously the people in the photo are them. Elle's not in the photo, or at least we didn't see her in there. Max wasn't in the photo, which is why I think Max is gonna die because she's not in the final battle with them.
Well,
That'd be
so
interesting.
what that could be possibly, and this is me spitballing here,
Yeah.
is that obviously if Elle's not in that drawing,
She's fighting
Vecna.
Yeah, that's
and
why
that's what I'm thinking that dragon is. If that's what they're going for, that's probably going to be the Mind Flayer's
Yeah.
final form.
Yeah.
Remember, Vecna can manipulate the thing. So what if Vecna manipulates him? Now it's in our world. Maybe something in the atmosphere actually makes it into a physical creature. Because remember, Nancy was talking about a monster she saw.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Vecna. It wasn't the physical Mind Flayer body in
How
season
did
3.
she describe it?
She described it as like a creature with a bunch of mouths and stuff. Again, like a Hydra.
Okay. That'd
Oh,
be
I
cool.
like this now.
But there's that. But the biggest thing I want to see is because remember we had that military subplot that kind of went nowhere.
oh yeah,
What the military? Because what I think they're gonna try to keep this thing contained in Hawkins. So what if the military goes into Hawkins and fights off like the other creatures? And I want to see something kind of like the third act of Super 8. You know, where you saw the kids running through the town while tanks and shit are fighting off the alien. What if we see something like that? Like the groups are running through Hawkins trying to get, say, like from point A to point B while all this shit's happening.
What if they're trying to go save Elle?
Yeah.
Because remember
Yeah.
that guy's after Elle, the military guy. So what if? Because if they're gonna come into this 5th season, it has to be capturing Elle, and then everyone has to go save her. And I can see something like that happening. Like, let's say so the next episode after like Max gets killed, and
Yeah.
the Upside Down finally opens, and now the military is just battling it out with the fucking monsters from the Upside Down. So you see like Demodogs, another Demogorgon.
And I want to
comes
see
out.
it the style. Have you guys seen Super 8, right?
Yeah, I've
I
seen
want it.
Super
I
8.
want it in that same style where you literally see the characters running through this just massive war in this small town.
I think that would be a lot cooler than what I pictured when Devyn said battle it out, because for whatever reason I just imagined
A
them
dance
punching.
battle.
They're gonna Guardians of the
Stomp
Galaxy.
the
This.
yard. Dance
that-
battle, bro.
Me and you.
Even
Dance
Not
battle,
gonna-
Vecna.
That was the best though.
Yeah.
I will defend that movie with my
Oh
life.
Jesus, of course
I
you
love
will.
that
I will.
I
Fucking
think
great.
I think even that would have been better than what I was picturing though.
Because okay, this is just what I wish to see.
yeah,
And that's also
But-
part of a theory. It's part of we're adding on. We're essentially just adding on to a
Absolutely,
theory.
yeah.
Yeah.
but what I imagined was just like a bunch of people limply hitting each other. That's what I pictured when I heard battle it out. Was just people,
Everyone fights everybody.
Yeah, and like not well.
Bitch
Like,
slaps Vecna.
I don't know what that's
Elle just
all-
walks up and bitch slaps Vecna.
That's all my imagination could conjure. It was just people just like
It's the
just,
Batman
like,
meme.
Yeah.
No, like I was thinking like, you know, people like throwing punches, but like the way people really punching each other, which is not great looking. Yeah. Yeah.
Very good for
just
audio.
Some weak, limp wristed punches.
Yeah.
Oh,
that'd be
the-
funny.
The Duffers also did say that there's going to be a minor time skip to where the actors can actually put their actual ages. What I think that's going to be is the what's
Is
called
Max
Return
gonna be in the
with-
coma this whole
no,
time?
no, that's
Fuck.
no. I think that's not going to happen until the ending. I think that's going to be the ending. Because think about it.
Yeah.
Here's how I kind of imagine the ending. The kids, the main group, graduating high school. They're going to graduate high school in 1989, the last year of the 80s. The whole show takes place
Oh.
in the early 80s, and it ends right before the 80s end. And now they're adults, and their whole childhood was taken away by all this drama. Now they're mature adults going on
Yeah.
to hopefully live a normal life.
See, I'm gonna
And they
have to.
peaked at 14.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to say I don't like that
Yeah.
because like, what are we gonna do this whole time? Because they already said it's pretty much set up that the Upside Down is basically about to come. Like you have to pretty much do that right then and there. It's
That's
not
why
gonna
that-
wait.
No, that's why I said
it's not
that
gonna
end.
wait 4 years till they graduate.
No,
high school to
That's
do
why I said
it.
that ending is going to be the actual ending to the show.
I don't know. I
There's two ways that they're gonna do about it with the time skip, and both I don't like. That I don't like, but it makes more like.
I don't think they should do
sense.
any time
Yeah.
skip. That's why I'm like, it's. I mean, because dude, like these
Another-
kids are already in their 20s.
Another
or in their
yeah.
late teens
Older
now.
shit.
Like, get it over with. Let's
I
hurry this
know.
up and let's
Yeah.
fucking move on.
These
Another
kids are
time
filing
skip-
Social Security.
Yeah, another time skip that I really hate, but someone brought it up to me was what if they do an It Chapter 2 style where they secretly cast actors that play adult
Nope.
versions. Exactly.
I don't want that.
I don't
want
remember
that.
who told me that, but when I heard it, I was like, yeah.
It-
no.
that was actually a theory on Reddit.
Okay,
I
someone
don't
probably
know.
read it and
There's a theory
told
on
me
Reddit.
because when I saw, it, I was like, that is fucking stupid.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, that sounds
Like they had the
annoying.
cast
Like,
talk about it
that's
too, and
too-
of course Joe Keery was like, "Oh well, Bill Hader should play Mike because he already did it." It's like
Yeah.
well, that's just
yeah,
lazy.
that's stupid.
Yeah.
That whole idea is lazy.
Like
do
if
not
they
do that.
had to go in those two options, I would obviously want the 1989 one where
Yeah,
they graduate.
but, like,
That's the
that's
more
still
practical
not
one, but
great.
Yeah.
it's still like
It's
I
not
don't even
that
think
good.
that's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
As much as like cool as it would probably be to end the show 1989, that's too long. Like, we're just gonna have Max just be in a coma this whole time.
No, because she's
Like-
gonna die early in the show, so she's gonna be.
Oh,
Dead.
you're talking about this time skip between the show. Although,
No. The time skip is literally the Return of the King's ending.
Oh, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, like
Oh,
obviously
okay.
they kill
I don't
Vecna when they're freshmen in high school. The whole battle, everything happens immediately after season 4, and then the ending, like literally the last 25 minutes of the series, is that graduation.
Mike should have no friends by the end of it.
Yes, thank
Like,
you.
what if all? What
Damn.
if? No, not in a disrespectful
Will-
way, but
Will
how fucked up
fucking-
would it be if they killed off either
L.
all Lucas, Dustin, and Will, or I think my dad suggested this. That, like, what if they killed off Will and Jonathan?
I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, like, because the only
Poor
thing.
Joyce, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, I love Joyce as a character. I think she's interesting.
Yeah.
But,
She's a
like,
mom.
Yeah, and that's her whole thing. But at the same time, what I will say is, like, they're both boring as shit characters. Will's a great hype man. Don't get me wrong. I
Great
like.
one.
I,
I mean,
want a
the only
hype man
interesting
like
thing
that.
he's got going for him is the fact that he's hiding his sexuality, and it's just like, and they teased it so much of this season where it's kind of frustrating.
I swear to God,
Where
if
it's
he
like,
doesn't
God
come
damn
out
it,
as
Will, just
gay-
kiss him.
Guess what gay people feel like all the time? 'Cause
I don't
every
know
show,
what you want from me. I'm just saying.
every show has this, and it's so fucking annoying. It's so common, but
I prefer that than like the random gay tough guy that shows up in every show now. Where it's just like, oh, like, wow, you think he's someone else, but really he's this, and it's like, oh.
see, that trope is not as done nearly
I've seen that
as
a lot,
queer
though.
baiting.
Yeah.
though.
I've seen
Yeah,
that
but
a
queer
lot.
baiting is a much more common trope. Bury your gays is a more common trope. We can get into bury your gays in a later
gays.
episode. So anyway, Devin,
Yeah.
your final thoughts, last few things you want to touch on that we haven't touched upon yet.
I'll
Sorry,
let
by the way, for the sound. If you want me to go into mine while you go through your notes, that's totally fine.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
'cause
ahead. I don't want to.
Devin's got physical notes.
Yeah, so I actually commented on this like prior to the
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah.
Is Jay and Ben came in with laptops, and I'm over here all analog and shit.
Yeah.
With fucking notepad. But
The
yeah,
classic.
So
Do you want to
yeah,
talk into the mic?
Kieran
Here,
said,
say. What did you say?
I was saying, what do you expect with the audio? It's the same way, all analog.
yeah.
I'm so happy I wasted time to do that.
I'm so glad.
I'm actually at my.
That's
best
the best
now.
segment of the whole
Yeah.
show.
Hold
This
on.
is excellent.
Go ahead though.
Okay. So my other points that I wanted to get into were the fact that I feel like more so than anything else, this is something that I wanted to touch on a lot more, but we're not going to have time for that because I think we're all kind of feeling a little bit done at this point. The amount of American exceptionalism that they used with Hopper in the prison, where it was very much just like, oh, you're very strong American. You're very tough American.
Strong
We love you so
American."
much, American. You are so wonderful. It felt like Cold War propaganda. I'm not going to lie. It was so fucking weird.
I find it
100%.
Yeah.
I will say, speaking of that Hopper stuff, like just a quick thing, like I did like that one scene where they're all eating, and they think it's just the last
Yes.
meal, and then Hopper's just sitting here drinking vodka and shit.
Yeah.
And he's telling them
And
straight
he's
up
all
like, yo, I
y'all
fought
have
this thing."
no idea what you're about to get into. This thing's gonna fuck you guys up.
I also got so hyped when Hopper cut off the Demogorgon's head because I immediately thought of
Yeah.
Hellboy.
Did you know? Oh yeah, that's exactly what I thought. It was
I was
Hellboy.
Yeah.
cheering.
But
I'm
did
like,
you know that sword that randomly manifests? It's like a game. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, a sword,
Yeah.
pick it up.
Yeah.
You know that sword is actually the exact prop that Arnold Schwarzenegger used in Conan the Barbarian.
Damn, I did not know that. That's
That's badass.
interesting.
Yeah, dude. But again, I'm gonna be like, where the fuck did that sword come? Because all of a sudden, like, I looked away for a sec when that happened. I looked away for a sec when it happened, and then I turned back. And then Hopper's
got
just got a
sword.
sword in his hand. I'm like, where
And
the
also-
fuck did you get a sword? And then he started fighting the Demogorgon.
and
I was
also,
like,
how
never
did the
mind,
sword
it's
not
awesome.
burn his hand? Because it was right there in the flamethrower.
Yeah. There-
Hopper's American, strong American. That's what.
Yeah.
They started American,
Yeah,
exactly.
That shit annoyed the fuck out of me. That
When he had
really
the
bugged
sword?
me.
It was
no,
hyped,
not
but it
even
was stupid.
not even just the sword. The sword, I was like, okay, whatever. Like, fuck it. At this point, it's fine. But just the fact, it's so much strong American. Oh, American, you are so strong. American, you are so tough. American, I give you 100 to 1. Oh, you did it, American. Somehow you took a 100 to 1 odds. Like,
Take a shot every time
also,
he says American.
I'm so good
Any
at
Russian guy
at
says it,
Russian
yeah.
accents. I'm just so excellent
You're
at
very
them.
strong, American.
Very strong
You are,
American.
this is your
Russian
women,
accent.
American,
Drink
right?
vodka.
Very pretty woman.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so annoying. Yeah, we just
have
offended all
bigger
Russians.
problems right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And also just the fact that, like, in general, it felt like they were very much like, there's a lot of ambiguity with the morals of the American government, but the Russian government is just
They're
bad.
evil.
And, like,
We
don't
are
get me
evil, I
wrong.
guess.
I mean, you know, fucking peace in Ukraine and whatnot, but at the same time, like, that has nothing to do with what we're watching. We're watching a thing that's basically just like,
Fiction.
yeah, well, and not just that, but, like, you know, art doesn't happen in a vacuum. Politics play a part in it. And the fact that they're portraying the Cold War, but they're very much just like, America has very ambiguous morals, which is questionable, and capitalism can be questionable. But the
Careful
Soviets
now.
are 100% bad all of the time. There's not a single good thing about them aside from the few people who are traitors to Russia. And it's like,
But it's
How
good.
about
that,
they
that
both
goes, that
kind
goes
of-
with the whole thing of Yuri and
yeah,
Enzo. By the
exactly.
way, is his name Enzo?
No.
It's
No,
not, right?
I
What
didn't
the
think
fuck
so.
is his name?
I didn't
I don't
think
know.
so.
Dude, I think they say it like once.
I never
Yeah,
got
the
his
guard.
name, but
Me
we
neither.
all
The guard.
call him Enzo.
It's what?
I just said the guard. Like, I
Oh.
don't fucking know.
Well, look up his
You
name.
guys-
Look up his
quick.
name.
Yeah.
Before we go,
Yeah,
like I want
Jesus
to.
Christ.
I'll give off. Let me give my final.
Yeah, give your final thoughts.
So I really enjoyed this season. I had a
Yeah.
lot of fun with this season. There probably is now, like, talking through it with people, which I always love doing after watching something like this. I do see a lot of those errors and a lot of, like, little things they need to fix up for the next season.
yeah, because I know when
but-
it first came out, you thought it was like a flawless season.
I thought it was flawless, but, like, I was just like, it's a good show. I highly recommend it. Is it better than season 3? I will get back to you guys on that because I do need to rewatch season 3. But I do remember saying season 3 was the best, but I thought that was only because season 2 was kind of like whatever, if I'm being honest.
It's based off entertainment. Season 3 is
Yeah.
the most entertaining.
Yeah, season 3 is
Yeah.
the most entertaining, and I kind of thought that with this too. And also, like, I'm kind of biased, I guess. Like, I really
Yeah,
enjoyed the Eddie arc.
Yeah,
Like,
and
that kept me invested with
Yes.
everything that was going on. Because, like, I knew you guys, like, Max and Lucas, y'all going to get back together. Nancy and Steve are going to keep cock teasing each other. Robin's just
Oh, honey.
awkward all the time. Stop. And-
That's my last
but,
one.
like, what kept me, like, invested was, like, Eddie. Like, I
Yeah.
related to him a lot. I was very invested in his character. And, like, just, you know, to see how it went and see where he went and how he grew as a character, and it was awesome to watch. And it, like I said, just kept me really invested. And of course to see my boy Hopper come back and fight the Demogorgon, and just I don't know, like I enjoyed the show a lot.
Yeah.
And I just have to go back to watch season 3 to see if it's the best season, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to be the best season. It's definitely still the more entertaining one, though.
Do you think first season's better?
I think the most well-written season is a tie between season 1 and 4. Season 4 has a lot of pros, but season 1 just felt so nice and contained.
Because it was because that's the one thing I
Yeah.
noticed.
It was
from-
contained.
That's the one thing I noticed from rewatching that first season, which was like, wow, it's actually like a really like quaint story about like these kids looking for their friend, and there's like
Yeah.
a monster out there.
I think if it were a miniseries, it probably would have held up better, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yes.
but Jay, your final thoughts.
Final thoughts, again, like I've been saying, it's a really fun show. I'm having a lot of fun. Am I looking forward to season 5? Yes. But besides that, season 3 is still my personal favorite, just for entertainment, marketing, and so many other reasons. But characters are fun. Definitely love Eddie. Argyle, I like him, but also not. But, you know, that thing. And also shout out to Tom Washchiha, who plays, a.k.a. Dmitry Antonov.
Oh.
Dimitri.
Why
His
did you
name's
guys
Dimitri?
think his
When
name
do
was
they ever
Enzio?
Because literally it says quotation marks Enzo on here.
Okay, so because I was like,
Because that was his code name to
Okay,
use with
yeah.
Hopper because the restaurant.
yeah, because at one point I was just like, who the fuck are we talking about when you guys said Enzo? And
Shout out to
the best.
Wyona Ryder for still
yeah,
being hot.
no, but no, yeah, that makes sense. There we go.
Yeah, so that's my final thoughts. I liked it. I give it a strong 8 out of 10.
I'm around there, honestly. The 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 for this one. Overall series, it's at a 7.5 right now. Just
it's an 8. The whole series is an 8.
Just because of season 2. I can't get through it.
Yeah.
I tried to rewatch. I can't get through it. But go ahead.
So I'm going to say that I hope this podcast ends before we come out with before they come out with a 5th season.
Yes.
I don't want to watch.
Happy
the
birthday,
5th
Jay.
season.
Thank you. That was last week.
Yeah. I had fun in the last few episodes. It wasn't enough to make me want to watch more of it. I'm not a big eat your vegetables before your dessert type person when it comes to TV. I guess just it was fine. If you guys want us to be able to stick around till 5th season, start viewing it, start sharing it. We're going to plug these socials in a minute. But all around, I give the season a 5 out of 10 and the series a 3 out of 10. So that's my
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to gain viewers or lose viewers.
Like,
We'll see.
but if you like it,
worried about sounding too nice about the show. But
I know, me too.
That was rude.
but if
Hey, no, we're honest. That's what we are.
if you guys like it, that's totally fine. That's totally fair. I tried giving it a fair shot. I honestly feel like I was nicer in my criticisms than I felt about the show.
I'm laughing at Kieran.
Why?
He just looks so miserable.
Yeah, he's like
He looks
nodding
he wants to
off.
fall
and-
asleep.
Yeah.
I'm a tired boy.
All right. So, do you guys want to give your final goodbyes and then I'll plug the socials?
Yeah. In fact, I'll even plug my own. Final thoughts, right? Was that what we just said?
Yeah.
I
No.
lost.
Say your goodbyes and plug
Yeah.
your socials. How's that?
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
I gotta
Thank you
look at
guys
mine.
so much for listening again. Really appreciate it. Keep listening and spread this around, especially to your friends or family that are really into Stranger Things. We really appreciate it. And if you want to give everybody on the podcast a follow, you can start with me. It's at DevLikesMovies on Instagram. I'm mostly on there, if I'm being honest. I have a Twitter. It's also DevLikesMovies, but I don't really do anything on there. But go ahead, yeah.
All right, yeah. This was fun. This is my first time being on the podcast, and
First
I
time
can't
many.
wait. Yeah,
Nope,
and I
first
can't wait to
end.
continue this if I'm liked. But we'll see. But yeah, if you guys want to follow me too, I'm Jacob J Smith. It's simple as that. No spaces, all lowercase, and yeah.
Awesome. And I am Ben. My Instagram is at Onion Goddess. Follow. Hell yeah.
I miss your old name.
I know, a scent of a skank, but it's Onion Goddess. It was scent of a skank because that was going to be my perfume line if I opened one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember.
Now
That's gonna be the next T-shirt.
Yeah. Now it's Onion Goddess at Instagram and Twitter, and you can follow our socials at NonButFictions on Tumblr, at NonButFiction on Instagram, and at what was it? ButtFiction.
It's ButtFiction.
Yeah, just ButtFiction on Twitter.
And butt fiction on Pornhub soon to come.
But with
Oh my god, that's how you get monetized, you fuck.
but with 2 T's. Ha ha ha.
Kieran,
It's
do you want to
saucy.
put in yours or not yet? Not yet?
Kieran
Okay.
does not want to plug his socials,
It's
which
okay.
is
Not yet. He's
wise.
you gotta wait till volume
Yeah.
2.
He's waiting till we're good at this.
That's what he's waiting for.
All right.
Thank you guys for listening again. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.